So I think that's the first movement.
Yes.
Tonally, it should shift into something, I think, more wistful for the second. Hi!
I need time to eat and digest before my next movement.
It's very true. Hi, everyone. Sorry, we were just discussing Matt's meows.
Meows.
Welcome to the Big Dumb Cast, nerdy news, geeky gossip stuff that's fit to fill you with. That actually came out a little solid there, that bird. I wonder how many episodes. If someone went back and listened to like the last, let's say, 2 years, 3 years of this podcast, how many episodes open with us reverting to that noise from
It's a very good noise, though, isn't it?
It is a good. Hunderpansy.
I'm supposed to do an episode, aren't we?
Well, mate. Well. I'm Chris. Fire from nuclear weapons, Johnson.
And I am the two bears inside you.
Which one's stronger? The one full of Beaver's anal bleats.
Full of Beaver's ass Coca-Cola.
We're back to that, are we?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we lost 7,000 listeners last week from that alone.
I'm amazed we had 7,000 listeners. I'm amazed we have 7 listeners.
They turned up just last week.
Oh, right.
And then you watch the analytics, and the moment the Beaver's anal glands start getting discussed, they drop right off.
Down to the second in the Tim code.
But it says that the 17 people who stayed were masturbating furiously while you were describing it.
Well, they need to say some Hail Marys then, don't they?
This is all thematic.
This is all going somewhere, I promise.
From the title or the thumbnail or whatever, that we are finally, considering there's been an ominous countdown on these podcasts, we are finally, somehow and for some reason, squeezing in the prolonged final chapter of an ongoing series.
Everyone's favourite prolapse. The last 2 X-Men movies by Fox.
Yeah, we're at this stage now. We're at this stage.
We're here.
The last time, I'm queer, let's do this.
Yeah.
When was the last time we did this?
Too long ago, July, I think.
Oh my god, no. It was earlier than that.
It was earlier than July.
So the X-Men retrospective, which was suggested, nay,
demanded
thrust upon us by regular listener Ian,
as the bubbles on comic covers used to say, because you demanded it.
Big Damn Cast, the world's greatest comic magazine,
if only,
began during toward the end of the second lockdown in the UK, the second big lockdown, or just after the end of it. We would have begun the project in September of 2020. The first episode was the 1st of October 2020.
Yeah.
Not too distant future. Re-X-MEN-brance Part 1.
Re-X-MEN-brance, Jesus.
2 podcasts later, on the 15th of October, that was the X-Men trilogy. 2 podcasts later, Origins and Reboots, Part 2.
You can tell we didn't have that much to do at the time.
Well, exactly. It was perfect. There was no news. There was no pop culture news.
There was no news.
Except for, this has been put back. This has been put back. So for that one, we did X-Men Origins Wolverine, we did X-Men First Class, and we did The Wolverine. It would then be... So when was that? That was mid-October. It would then be another, he says, scrolling through the episodes, all available to listen now on your podcast provider of choice. 4 months till Part 3, Past Pools of the Apocalypse.
Yes.
Which was Days of Future Past, Deadpool, and X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, wow, it's been that long.
And then the next one, and as of today, up to this point, final installment, penultimate chapter.
Penultimate.
Part 4, Livin' La Vida Logan, came out featuring our Logan and Deadpool 2 reviews in May of 2021.
What? It's been nearly a year!
here we are
It's not. It's been like 9 months. But...
February ha-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha-ri.
It's
on a very special day.
It's our X-Men February.
On a very special day.
What special day is it?
It's the 22nd of February, which is International Underage Drinking Day. When's your birthday? February 22nd. What year? Every year. So, shout out to the Hot Fuzz Massive.
I hate it and I hate you.
You know, last week during Eunice, did you see the thing about like one of the churches in
Wales?
Wales?
Has anybody checked out on the books to
check to see if Count Buckley's is alright?
That is a wonderful moment in that movie. It's just like it's completely, totally different to the rest of the movie up to that point.
Everything up to that point has been like
nowhere.
Action, comedy, and a little bit of like, oh, it's a bit violent. It's a bit violent, and then
it's just ridiculous.
Adam Buxton gets omened.
Not even just completely. Oh
it's
God,
nuts.
it's so good.
When it happened, two names were trending in the UK on Twitter that day.
Adam Buxton and
Patrick Troughton. And you could tell the nerds from the pedantic arseholes, because pedantic arseholes were all going, all these people are referencing Hot Fuzz. I think you should be referencing The Omen, who did it first.
I think you reference whatever bit of pop culture you like.
I think you reference whatever pop culture you like, but also, motherfucker, it happened in Wells at a church down the road from the fucking church in Hot Fuzz where that happened.
Yeah.
Same town, 3-minute walk away. I think Hot Fuzz is more than appropriate if you want to make a joke about it. You shits. See how we're already delaying.
It's so good. It's such a good. Just like the composition of that shot and the editing of that moment is so great. It's just the voice just cuts back to him staggering, fucking steeple hanging out.
Not even out of his neck, out of his upper body.
Yeah,
like, he's just steeple.
He just gets completely pile drived. I love it so much.
Like his skull or what's left of it would be in his crotch.
Yeah,
like it's just it's gone. What a great film. I wish we were talking about that film this week.
It's like hitting a jam donut with a hammer.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, Ian set us a task.
He did.
A year and a half ago.
Set us a task.
And we finally got round to completing said task. This is a unique entry for, I think both of us, because I think yourself, you've only seen these movies twice each.
Yes.
And not necessarily out of choice. Like, the second viewing of both was to get ready for this episode.
Yeah. I mean, the first viewing of the first one was just so we could cooperate on the podcast.
That's true. By that point, yeah.
When we did our review.
I have seen the first one of these two movies twice, again, second time for this, and the second movie once. The New Mutants, which we'll talk about in a bit, is not rentable anywhere. And I think part of that is down to the fact that it was a digital exclusive release. It came out digitally in the latter part of 2020. We'll talk a bit about its production later.
It is still on Now TV Movies if you have Now TV.
If you have a Now TV Movie Pass, it's there till the 1st of May, I believe, is the deadline for it.
But I no longer have a Lulu Dallas Movie Pass.
Yeah, and I didn't want to spend $7.99 on something for 1 month for one movie per se, if I wasn't necessarily going to use it for beyond that movie, when I could, as it ended up being the case, spend £6.61 exactly on an Amazon Prime delivery of the DVD.
$6.61.
Because if I didn't enjoy the DVD, I could just take it to a charity shop, and then at least someone who would want it and see it on the shelf there could at least enjoy it.
Sharpen the edge and use it as a weapon.
That too. Oh God,
it's the only
option.
Or
I could carve it into a cross.
You could.
And bury all my X-Men DVDs, and put that in the ground above them, and then this is the clever bit, right? As I walk away, the cross, which has a suspiciously, nay, conveniently short tail, will fall over to form an X in the ground. It's the one bit of Logan I don't really like.
I don't mind it. However,
it's just a bit obvious.
How dare
I mean, I know that Laura places it, but still.
How dare you invoke a movie of such quality
in
the company of these? Well,
yeah.
I'm one of these is significantly worse than the other. Let's be honest.
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we just do this? Should we just do this?
Let's do it. So,
ladies and gentlemen, Dark Phoenix is the first of our double bill. again, big thank you to Ian for setting us this task, and also for sending us a donation toward a takeout while we watched the.
It helps us through, honestly.
Thank you very much. I appreciated that a lot. It was very sweet. It paid for the film and for food, and we'll probably use it for a couple of rounds of beer at some point in the near future, which would be nice. So thank you very much, Ian. So it provided us with soft drinks. One of which I'm going to crack open right now. Oh, lovely. Oh, mine's not got beaveriness in it, as far as I'm aware. This is the caffeine-free one, right?
Mm.
Diet Coke, caffeine-free.
No, the beaveriness is for the vanilla flavouring, so...
This one's the rat's nipples.
Yeah, well, that's general rat piss you get in all cans.
Oh, lovely.
They do like to use them as toilets, little buggers.
So thank you very much, Ian. Bless your heart. He asked on the Big Damn Discord yesterday as well, like, should he watch, I think it was Dark Phoenix or Logan in preparation for this, because he hadn't seen either. I just went, Logan. Just watch Logan. Please, for the love of God, just watch Logan.
Don't watch Dark Phoenix. Us talking about it is going to be marginally more exciting than Dark Phoenix is.
So, X-Men, Dark Phoenix, or, in some territories, Dark Phoenix.
Just Dark Phoenix.
Was the... Jesus. If we're talking X-Men, not spin-offs.
I don't even know.
Origins are spin-offs, we're not counting that. First Class is the fourth film then. Days of Future Past 5. Apocalypse 6. This is the seventh specifically X-Men movie.
And the fourth in the First Class trilogy. Wait.
Yeah. And the first remake in the series.
Yeah, it's the first time they've gone back to do the same plotline as already adapted in something else again.
Yeah, and the same writer involved specifically.
Yeah. It's like I got
Simon
it right the first time,
Ruddy
then I can do it.
Kinberg.
Simon Kinberg. Let's have a look at Simon Kinberg.
Let's
talk about Simon Kinberg.
On a level of why are you tinkering with this? I don't put him anywhere near an Avi Arad level of fuckery. I think Kinberg, for the most part, as a creative, means well, because he either jumps in to fill in for someone else, or he's like, no, honestly, I think there's a good film in this, and then goes on to make that film and prove that maybe there is, mate, but not under your stewardship.
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. So this is Simon Kinberg directing this.
Yep.
See what else he's directed. One episode of The Twilight Zone.
Yep. Which one was it?
The new one.
Yeah, which episode?
Which was... what episode was it?
Because I haven't seen the second half of Series 2, and then Now TV got rid of it after like a week.
What episode was it? Blurryman.
Oh, that's the Series 1 finale.
Okay.
That's quite a good, well-directed episode.
And he's also directed the 355, which is currently...
Oh, is that the...
That's the new Lady CIA. Chastain.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does look fun, but it also looks a bit nothing at the same time. Like, it would be a fantastic movie to watch on a plane.
In between those two, directed Dark Phoenix.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the sort of movie where you put it on a plane, you go, yeah, I enjoyed that, but you have no desire to watch it again, and you didn't have a desire to go see it in the cinema in the first place. You know you'll have an alright time with it, but you kind of have to be in the circumstance where you have nothing else to do. So that film will be the thing that makes you feel entertained for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
So...
let's have a look at his writing credits.
Because he's been a producer, hasn't he? He's been producing a shitload on these movies. He's been around the X-Men franchise since, at the very least, X-Men The Last Stand. Wow. Because he was involved in that development.
Let's have a look at this.
Here we go. Simon Kinberg.
2002.
Yes.
TV movie called The Legacy.
Right.
Don't try and find any information about it, because there isn't any.
But Matt, it's The Legacy. It's The
2005.
Legacy.
2005.
Yeah.
Triple X 2.
Oh!
State of the Union / The Next Level, depending on your territory.
Yeah, it was Next Level over here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've heard it called State of the Union before, and I was like, was there another one? Before the return of Xander Cage.
Who was the Next Level? Was that the...
Imagine thinking that the world gives enough of a shit about Triple X to hear that name and go, oh yeah, boys!
That's the Ice Cube one.
Yes, it is.
2005, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Married Spies. Yeah.
He loves... That's a remake, isn't it?
No. It was remade in 2007.
What?
As a TV movie.
Oh my god. Was he involved in that?
He wrote that as well.
Oh, jeez. So he loves remaking stuff. If he's like, oh, I just don't know. I feel like there's a better version of this. Let's remake it while it's still on everyone's mind.
Oh yeah, no. So the Angelina Jolie Brad Pitt one was a remake of a 1996 TV series.
Oh Jesus!
With Scott Bakula and Maria Bello, which he wasn't involved with.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. So in between doing the Mr. and Mrs. Smith film and the Mr. and Mrs. Smith TV movie, which looks like it was actually a stealth pilot for a series that didn't get picked up.
Oh, because the film didn't do what they wanted it to.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh god.
That's when he wrote X-Men: The Last Stand.
Right.
And then
okay.
So after Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we get Jumper in 2008, which is not great.
Hayden Christensen's vehicle.
The Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes.
He wrote that one?
Yep.
Yeah, I can feel that.
This Means War from 2012. The Chris Pine, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, yeah, the one where they tried to do like it was like an action and a rom-com and it just didn't quite work.
He's done that before.
Oh yeah! Oh, Christ.
Co-wrote Days of Future Past.
Explains a lot.
Co-wrote Fantastic Four.
The 2015.
Fan Four Stick,
oh,
yeah.
Christ.
Co-wrote X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Which we knew. Also...
Oh, didn't he uncredited direct a load of X-Men Apocalypse?
Possibly.
Because that was the one where
possibly
Singer started apparently having like strops and fallouts with people and eventually he left the project. Yes, Kinberg had to do the reshoots, which was their way of saying Kinberg came in and directed the majority of the movie.
Yeah. Which
in itself happened again on, what was the other film? Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Where Singer was meant to direct that and
Dexter Fletcher
had to step in. It's a games master, that shit.
Yeah. In between Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, though, he's credited as creator for Star Wars Rebels, so I'm assuming he was part of the executive team for that.
Yeah. Interesting, because all of his projects seem to be Fox specific.
Yeah.
And Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars was a Fox property at the time.
No.
But
this is after the...
Rebels was the first... I thought Rebels was in development prior to the acquisition.
Oh, it might have been, actually.
When did Rebels start? Like 2016, 2017?
First episode was...
Ooh, Star Wars Rebels.
Ooh, 2014. So yeah, it actually started airing before the acquisition.
I was going to say, there's no way Disney would have let him near it unless it was like, it had begun prior to the...
But it was on Disney XD.
Yeah, because that was the thing, was it Star Wars joining Disney was announced in like 2013, 2014. Because they were like, and in 2015, the first new movie's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
But Rebels being an animated show had been in development from like 2012.
Yeah. But then Dark Phoenix, then after that he's done, he was the creator on the 11-episode Apple TV Plus series Invasion.
Okay.
What's that, I hear you ask? No one has Apple TV Plus. And then
no one really uses it over here, do they? Like, apart from watching Ted Lasso, I don't think anyone ever talks about Apple TV shows.
Ooh, like Ted Lasso, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know.
No, I have no idea. So yeah, Simon Kinberg. Not a great track record as a writer, and no track record as a director. What does he do with X-Men Dark Phoenix? Well, he does the same thing that every person who has touched the X-Men franchise in the hands of Fox has done. Where they've gone, God, I really love the X-Men. Those are really great stories, really great characters. Oh, it's just such a rich and universe. It's brimming with all sorts of like subtext. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a film that completely removes everything that makes the original source material interesting and boils it down to its blandest, most surface level, facile version. The fucking 90s animated series is better than this.
I mean, I think the 90s animated series is pretty decent X-Men overall.
Yeah, no, but it's not a multi-million-dollar movie. There's a bunch of shit thrown at it.
Hey! At least they don't chicken out and put Wolverine in it for no reason.
Oh, alright, cool.
No, I know it's not a redeeming feature, but
cool.
I actually kind of admire the restraint. Because that's the first time. This is the first time they've not put Wolverine in one of the movies that Wolverine's not meant to be in. Like, it's weird that it took this long. At least that would have provided, if you were in it, a 3-second distraction from what the fuck we were watching, I guess.
What were we watching, Chris?
So Dark Phoenix picks up after the events of X-Men Apocalypse, now in the early 90s?
Yeah. There's like a 10-year time jump.
With all of these teenagers from the 80s who are inexplicably still teenagers, and Nicholas Hoult as Beast, who should be in his 40s by now.
Yep.
Clearly not being in his 40s.
Yeah.
Magneto and Xavier barely aging a fucking day. Quicksilver, who was a literal teenager when we met him in Days of Future Past, now being in his 30s apparently, but looking exactly the same for the 5 minutes of screen time he gets.
So yeah, this is set 9 years after Apocalypse.
Oh, Jesus. So it's 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Apocalypse they come out of
83.
Return of the Jedi, don't they? And they go like, oh, the third one in the trilogy is always the worst. It's meant to be like a little wink, we're the third one in our trilogy. Or wink, this is Bryan Singer saying that Brett Ratner shit on the work he did. Ha 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 ha. It's just like,
No, Bryan Singer shit on the work he did. First by leaving X3 in early pre-production to do Superman Returns. And secondly, by being a rapist.
alleged. Have to say that. Though we don't agree that it's alleged.
We don't have to say that.
I think we meant to. Do you know what? Who cares? He's not coming after us.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck. Okay.
What's he going to do? Harass you? No, because you're not a twink.
Yeah. Because I'm of legal age.
There we
go.
So, yeah. It's set after that. Who's a teacher? Are any of them teachers? Presumably Mystique is a teacher because she seems to have more of a leadership role within the X-Men, who are now known celebrities.
Yeah, people know who the X-Men are. They've become public figures as superheroes. Don't ask me what superheroics they've been up to.
Yeah, because all we see is that Charles has a direct line to the president's office.
The president literally has a phone with nothing but a big X on the front of it on his desk. It's like Batman 66 up in this shit.
Which would be fine if that was the tone of the whole film.
If
the tone of the whole film was, oh my god, they're public superheroes and let's have a big old superhero
It's taking
adventure.
itself way too seriously.
Yeah. Because they then go to help a space shuttle that is stuck in a galactic sort of storm cloud in the atmosphere.
Well, they've lost control of the space shuttle.
What an actual opportunity they had, if they really wanted to build a universe, which they wanted to at this point, to make that the origin of their Fantastic Four.
Well, yeah, no, so there's a space shuttle.
Yeah.
It's out of control and there's a solar flare, quote unquote, heading towards it. Turns out this solar flare is actually some big blob of space energy.
Sentient life form thing, yeah.
Jean, they end up evacuating the shuttle, but Jean has to hold it together, and at the last moment she gets consumed by the energy, but it all goes into her, and she's left floating in space, and she's absorbed the energy, but she's still alive, and you go home and you check her out, and she's all fine, but then she starts stressing out once she gets home. And then she realises that, oh no, I remember that I killed my parents in a crash with my powers when my powers emerged, but I didn't really kill my dad. My dad's still around. Why doesn't he want to see me? So she goes and finds her dad, and her dad says, you killed your mum.
I couldn't bear to look at you because, you killed your mother and nearly killed me, and that traumatised me, and I couldn't handle your powers, so go away.
I think you're a monster, so I purposefully made sure that you forgot about me because I didn't want you to be a part of my life.
Well, does it say that? Well, we'll get into it, but does it say that he asked for her to forget about him, or was it more Xavier bullshitted?
No.
On the dad's
asked
request.
Xavier.
Yeah. Tell her I'm dead.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he said that, but I can't remember because it's boring as fuck. But yeah, he was like, I don't.
So the X-Men go to collect her, they'll be like, oh shit, revelations, and the soap opera stuff you kind of want from X-Men.
Because she's getting more and more and more powerful.
And then casualties occur, and
what shame.
Meanwhile, creepy aliens arrive on Earth who are like, yeah, we wanted that energy, but we were trying to find a vessel to house the energy.
They conveniently take over the creepiest looking woman they can find. Made Jessica Chastain look awful.
It's weird, isn't it?
Which is a fucking struggle.
It's like, how the hell do you do that?
Yeah, and then
they found a way.
Dye
Albino eyebrows.
her eyebrows white. Fucking hell. It's not even that she looks weird after she gets possessed.
Is that her character looks weird? Well, killed and then replaced.
She just fucking looks weird.
So then these aliens are like, "Hey, Jean, you alright?
We want your Phoenix Force.
We sent that flare after you because we wanted something to harness this power that's contained within it, and it's you. So if you join us, we'll show you how to use it, and it'll be amazing." Although secretly, they want to maybe kill her and take the power for themselves.
Ill-defined motives!
Yeah. So what follows is Jean sort of on the run. Very briefly, she goes to all sorts of locations. She goes to a version of Genosha.
Yay!
She goes to New York. And that's it. Those are the two locations. That's it. And then all the X-Men and Magneto are on a train being detained by the government.
Oh yeah, so they have a fight, and then
the aliens arrive at the
we
train.
missed a bit.
Oh, yeah.
What happens is, so this alien leader played by weird Jessica Chastain, whose name is Vuk, by the way. Vuk. But she didn't know that until she saw the movie.
That's
because she didn't know her character's name.
We'll get to that. That's incredible, though.
So she's like, "Oh, if you can't handle what the power's doing to you, give me the power. I'll be able to handle it." So she manages to siphon some off Jean, but then Jean changes her mind. She's like, "No, it's going to kill me, and I don't trust this woman. She's going to turn this Earth into a new Dabari homeworld or something." I don't fucking know.
Yeah, aliens exist.
Aliens exist. Aliens exist.
Just dropping that in there. Yeah.
Which is, if you want to get weird, that's fine, but do something interesting with it.
Or at least have people react to it.
Yeah.
Like, wait, there's extraterrestrial life? You know what I mean? Just something.
And then, so, what do we get?
Have Jessica Chastain's character be someone who is part of a government research thing that knows about alien life, and maybe they've received the first communication.
Yeah.
So that at least we sort of are like, oh, that's why they've arrived there.
But
and they're going to take over them before they tell anyone that
the aliens from Signs just crash land and take over a dinner party.
Yeah.
And so
right down to being blurred in the background and everything. Yeah.
Well, they look like wood-like, didn't they? Because the Dabari in this are supposed to look like tree people. Because everyone remembers the Dabari, right? No. So she's literally...
Wait, hang on. Dabari and Kotari.
No, just Dabari.
No, but there are the Kotari. No, I mean in the comics. Like, that's another race of tree, the Kotari, because they're the ones from pre-Kree history. They're the ones in Empire and shit.
The Dabari
and then you've got the species Groot's from.
The Dabari are the ones that get toasted by Jean in the original Phoenix saga in the comics. I just find it weird
that the two sort of like, we're made out of wooden plants, have basically the same name.
Well,
Dabari, Kotari.
Who cares? I don't. So fuck me. So yeah. So Vux have some point out, but then she doesn't siphon it all, and then they manage to get away. But then they all get arrested by the mutant containment unit because Jean killed a bunch of policemen.
Sorry, I've just realised that might actually be a slightly clever in-joke in the
MCU.
film. The MCU. Yeah. They're taken by the MCU.
Taken by the MCU.
That's kind of... Okay, do you know what? Point, team.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional, though.
I mean, if it was, great. If not, it's weird, isn't it? We're being taken away by the MCU because at this point the acquisition...
I've seen the rest of the X-Men films that Simon Kinberg's written. I don't think he's that smart. So, anyway, this one comes... Fuck me.
Aliens descend on the train.
So yeah, they're on a train being taken to a storage facility, but the aliens want the rest of the Phoenix Force, so they come and attack the train, and we get the best bit of the film, which is a fantastic action sequence where they battle up the train and all the different mutants use their powers.
And was crowbarred in at the last minute in reshoots, which is why I think the MCU thing possibly was...
Well, because it was originally going to be in space, and they were like, yeah, this is shit. It's nothing to do with Captain Marvel. Nothing to do with Captain Marvel. It's because...
Yeah, that was the statement put out, wasn't it? The statement put out was like, we just thought with Captain Marvel coming out, it might seen as a little bit derivative.
That was a thing that people said, but what actually was the case was they screened it for test audiences, and test audiences just fucking hated the ending.
Yeah.
Just thought it was boring. So they reshot it to be this fantastic train fight with some really cool action sequences.
And then the train crash happens, and
then Jean wakes up and she takes the Phoenix Force back and she kills all the Dabari, and then she explodes in space, and then she dies, I guess, and then everything gets a happy ending.
Charles is off-screen, evacuated from his own facility, or leaves it.
Yeah.
And it's renamed the Jean Grey Institute
and
for Higher
Hank
Learning.
takes over as the headmaster.
Presumably, because they never say anything. He just walks into a room.
And then
Storm's teaching for some reason. And then Charles and Eric meet up in Paris at the same cafe that fucking Alfred's in, apparently.
And then, they play chess while there's a phoenix in the sky. And there's narration from Jean Grey. But isn't she dead? But then I guess she isn't. But God, it's just a mess and it's boring, isn't it? It's really dull. You take the Dark Phoenix saga, which is like a space
for
opera.
For our listeners who
like
are just
cosmic.
Yeah, for our listeners who are just familiar with Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey as adapted in like films.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's some of you listening right now who are like, I've heard that this is a really cool thing.
You're not wrong.
But every time I've seen it adapted, it's not been that.
I mean,
what is the original? Like, in a nutshell, what's the original saga? How long did it run for?
It ran for a while,
what's
actually.
The appeal?
Well,
good couple of years or so, wasn't it? The actual.
Well, the Phoenix character was around for a couple of years because, like very much like in the film,
Yeah.
what happens is the X-Men are on a space mission. They're coming back, but Jean has to hold the ship together with her psychic powers and quote-unquote dies in the crash.
Is she still called Marvel
saving
Girl at
everyone.
this point, or is she just going by Jean Grey?
She's Marvel Girl still, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's Jean Grey 'cause she's kind of semi-retired from the X-Men. This is kind of after she's come back.
Yeah.
Because this is in the all-new, all-different era. So it's the second team. It's the Colossus, Storm, Wolverine team. Wolverine was actually in this one.
The Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah. Wolverine was actually in this one in the comics, and they didn't put him in the movie. Well, it's fine because and then
Hugh Jackman stars in Dark Phoenix again.
Yeah. She comes out of the. She emerges from the crash. And she's like, "I am fire and life incarnate. I am Phoenix."
And the teammates are all like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and she's like ultra powerful, but she's still good.
Yes.
And then,
all right, yeah, no, I'm totally fine. I guess I just got an upgrade.
And then the series continues, and the X-Men and stuff.
She's in a green yellow outfit.
Green yellow outfit.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they do on other adventures, and there's a couple of things that start happening as the series goes on that sort of culminate into the actual Dark Phoenix saga. One of which being that Jean's getting more powerful. The other one being that she's getting more and more disturbed because Mastermind is giving her illusions of himself in different time periods. Yes,
yeah,
and he can create illusions, make you feel things. He is sort of planting a false reality in her head where she's his lover in like pretty like early colonial American days.
For those listening along at home, unable to see what's happening, Matt did the Charles Xavier fingers against his temple as he described this.
I did. And then so that's sort of getting in mind that way, and he's doing that at the behest of the Hellfire Club, who want to use Jean Grey as their new Black Queen because she's very powerful. So
we want you to essentially subliminally brainwash her into joining our gang.
Yeah, a couple of different things happen, which so then there's a big bust up at the Hellfire Club, and Wolverine is awesome, but then eventually Jean throws off Mastermind's sort of control, and she turns him into a vegetable. And I'll use that in a pejorative term. She basically shuts down his brain, and in revenge for him trying to control her, she shows him all of reality at once with her new Phoenix powers, and it just breaks his mind completely and turns him into a drooling mess. But then again, she continues to get more powerful and more arrogant until she eventually just breaks completely and realizes that she's, the super powerful Dark Phoenix emerges. And
she does the unthinkable. She changes the costume to red.
She changes the costume to red and gold. She takes down the X-Men. She fucks off into space. While she's in space, she basically it becomes so powerful that she destroys a star and the star system around it, including the Debari home planet and a Shi'ar.
Who are a previously established alien race within the X-Men comics.
That have, Lilandra, the Empress of the Shi'ar, and Charles Xavier are foot buddies at this point. And so, intergalactic foot buddies. Well, actually, no. Lilandra is in... Xavier's in Shi'ar space at this point. Yeah. As Lilandra's consort.
Well, there you go. He's making an intergalactic booty call.
The whole thing with Jean is what brings him back to Earth.
Rather, she's making an intergalactic booty call. Yeah.
So he can help her contain her new powers. Yeah. So he helps work on her, sort of like psychic blocking to help her contain her powers, which they do. But then they decide that. But then the third act is that the Shi'ar decide that she must be put on trial for what she did as the Phoenix, and they sentence her to death. But they manage to bargain that the X-Men will be her champions and they will fight the Shi'ar Imperial Guard on the blue area of the moon as like her sort of trial by combat, which she eventually uses to commit suicide out of guilt and the fear that she'll become Phoenix again. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
So it's this like act one, the ship and everything would be the finale. If this was TV, that'd be the finale of one series.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a whole other plot for the next series, but there'd be this seeded thing of something's going on with Jean.
Yeah.
And she's
There's
not
3
quite
seasons
sure.
of TV.
Yeah, and by the end of that series, you get the transformation into the Dark Phoenix, and then the next series arc is the rehabilitation of and eventual sacrificial sort of statement by Jean to make sure that she can't hurt anyone ever again.
Yeah,
because even she does not know the extent of what this thing could be.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Force is later sort of
elaborated
on,
they
I
retcon it
guess.
to be like the Jean Grey that this happened to was actually a copy of her created by the Phoenix Force, and the original Jean Grey was in a cocoon at the bottom of Jamaica Bay where the space plane crashed.
Fair enough.
And that was how they brought Jean Grey back for X Factor.
Yeah,
and then later on into the main continuity. But that's the Dark Phoenix saga. It's this epic tale, and because this is all set against a Scott Summers who has lost he's sort of rekindled his relationship with Jean, and they're becoming more and more embroiled, and their sort of love story is what sort of gives it the backdrop of this space opera going into that he is the one who believes that she can still be saved, that she can always be saved, that she'll always be there for him, and he'll always be there for her. Like, there's a sweet moment where they basically go off onto a deserted plateau to fuck.
Yeah.
Have a picnic and a fuck. And
picnic and a fuck.
And she tells him to take his glasses off so he can see with his own eyes. He's like, I'll fucking blast you if I take my glasses off. She's like, no, I'm powerful enough now, I can hold your blast back so you can see me with your own eyes. And that happens, and then, they do nookie. But, as much as you can in a 1980s comic book. And to the point where she sacrifices herself because she knows that if she doesn't, the X-Men are going to get killed by the Imperial Guard, and, she sacrifices herself for Scott. And then afterwards he leaves the X-Men.
Yeah. Because, trauma.
Yeah.
It's heavy shit.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is Scott Summers plays a vital role in the story because our main character of that arc, Jean Grey, goes through some horrid shit, and what it does to her affects the love of her life and the people around her, and Scott is the perfect avatar of the idea of what happens when somebody starts acting out of sorts.
Yeah.
Or if you want to look at it as a substance abuse allegory, it's
absolutely.
It's what that does to the person closest to you, wants
Oh,
to be
you're
there
not the
for
person
you,
I used to know. You've changed.
but I know you can be better, and I'm going to stick this through, and la la. Dark Phoenix the movie features some characters that are called Scott and Jean, who we met sort of for a collected 20 minutes of screen time in Apocalypse.
Boring. They're just so boring.
It's bizarre. I made some notes, and we'll get to them in a minute, but one of them was that it's weird that this film and Apocalypse, the previous film, are relying on you, the audience, to give a shit about Cyclops, Jean Grey in particular, Storm somewhat, because you've seen them in other movies, so you'll just immediately be attached to them.
Yeah.
And have a fondness for them. And yet doesn't do any legwork to make you get, understand, or even relate to this specific incarnation of them.
Yep.
Which is even more jarring because, yes, we all like Famke Janssen's Jean Grey. Yes, we like Halle Berry's Storm.
Mostly.
Mostly. Why, yes, we do. I had to newt that, sorry. We do like Nightcrawler, played by Alan Cumming, and that's, no shade on, is it Cody Smith McPhee and like that.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job with the parts when they have a line of dialogue. But we fell in love with the Alan Cumming version. James Marsden.
Yeah.
These are the actors that we fell in love with in these roles. So to just suddenly be like, you care about them, right? But do no legwork. Like Storm, for example. This Storm isn't the stoic, but a little bit goofy, like version that Halle Berry presented in those first two movies in particular, where it's sort of like she's very beautiful. She's got this natural kind of ethereal vibe about her simply based on her appearance. She's quite, polite, and you get the sense that she's someone who completely believes in Xavier's dream and wants to make it happen. Has a lot of power, but doesn't misuse it, and she makes stupid little jokes, sometimes intentionally, and like she's a very likable presence in the first trilogy. Is Halle Berry? Is it Alexandra or Alexandria? Can't remember her name now. Alexandra Shipp, who plays her in these two movies. What do we know of this take on Storm, who's obviously a different version because she's from different decades?
Well, not much, because she spent most of the last movie as one of the fucking Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
In the last movie, she sort of joins Apocalypse mostly willingly.
Yeah.
And then just gets added to the X-Men because she's Storm. So,
yeah,
all we know of this Aurora is that she's a villain, and now she's here, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
It's just, So she's got no wiggle room, really, as a performer. The script doesn't do anything with her. Don't give a shit about her. Same with Nightcrawler.
Yep.
Big same with Nightcrawler. The last film sets up the ideas of, like, some parallels to Alan Cummings' ones. Like, he's got the scars. And, oh, yeah. And now what? Well, he's just here, isn't he? Yeah, he is just here, I guess.
He's just here.
Cyclops, do you remember? Apocalypse, that pretty horrific sort of origin story for him, like, him in school and everything. Yeah, it was sort of like a weird semi-remake of the weird version of him that was in X-Men Origins Wolverine, I guess.
Listen.
Yeah. Don't you care about him? He likes Jean. What are his desires? What are his motivations? What does he want out of life? Who does he want to be? Where does he want to go?
The thing is, when you've got a movie like this where you kind of need your two leads to have chemistry and charisma, because they're supposed to actually give a shit about their relationship, don't cast Sophie Turner and Ty Sheridan.
I buy Marsden and Jansen.
At least
in
write
the original,
the characters better.
In the original, two and a bit for him. Like, I buy their relationship. I buy that they are fully grown adults who've been dating, knowing each other, and have become incredibly intimate and loving over probably like 10 years. Like, I buy it in that original couple films. Like, apart from him going and leaning into the frat boy defensive thing, or like, Owen Logan, stay away from my girl. Like, all that stuff, like, I buy it, just the way they are with each other.
No, why?
Because they're good actors.
James Marsden's great, and he's got charisma up the arse.
I think he's the only Cyclops actor who's managed to act past the visor.
Yeah.
Like, it's because it's a tough one, that the eyes are the windows to the soul. They're a great way to communicate, and as a performer, they're like your greatest asset. And, Marsden had to perform in those movies with a fucking thing across the middle of his face.
Yeah.
I mean, not many men could do that. Not many men could pull that off and make it work. It's basically him and LeVar Burton are like the only two people who've ever made it work.
Yeah.
And make it work consistently. Just Ty Sheridan, I'm sure he's great. I'm sure he can be great. I've never seen him in anything where he really makes me go, you're good, man. You're real good.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Ty Sheridan's credits.
Just, like, I mean, I think we joked at the time of either Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix, we saw it in cinemas, that he has, like, the Val Kilmer lips.
He does.
Like, that's the one thing he's got. Like, you put him in a visor, like Val Kilmer in a bat cowl, and you're like, damn, your lips, man. They're really popping in this thing.
I mean, he's been in loads of, like, serious drama stuff that he's probably really good in, but
whenever we've seen him in genre fare, he's either been dealt a shit hand or has made some really boring choices.
X-Men Apocalypse is not great. Ready Player One was not great.
No.
What else? I think that was probably the first thing I saw him in. Yeah. It's just like, who cares? Dark Phoenix is not just awful. I haven't seen him in any of the other shit he's been in, so maybe he's good in those, but he's not good in these.
Yeah, no. And then Sophie Turner. We've joked on this show a lot about what I call, like, the Game of Thrones curse, which is actors who we grew to know because of Game of Thrones. Like, either they debuted in Game of Thrones, or, like, that's the most prominent role they'd had so far. Usually the younger ones have gone on to prove that they don't really have much chops outside of the role that they had, which is either the casting for them in that show was so spot on that they've not really been cast in anything that's utilised their strengths.
Yeah.
Or they grew up in those roles, and so that's the type of acting they've always known, and so can never really develop or try something different beyond that. And it's, they've just, none of them have really hit their stride yet in terms of finding a new angle to approach something with. Because, imagine riding a bike, learning how to ride a bike, moving the pedals backwards, and then after 10 years, someone goes, "You meant to move them forwards." That's a big habit you're going to have to try and kick.
Yeah.
If you've been playing Arya or Sansa Stark, for example, for 10 years, and you've not really been able to play anything else, and any roles you've been casting during that time have been similar to that. I don't know, a certain sci-fi show casting one of those two actors in it to play essentially the same role, but immortal for some reason.
But we'll get to her.
I hope we're just being harsh critics here. I hope that's all it is.
I hope so.
Because it would suck if they really didn't have anything to offer and were just being basically paraded around in these parts that make it very evident.
Yeah, because that's absolutely nothing. That never happens in the industry. It's never what happens.
Sophie Turner does not bring anything to this.
I'm still very sceptical of Harry Styles in future Marvel projects.
We'll see. I'm just sceptical of them using fucking Eros in any Marvel project.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But that's another kettle of fish, isn't it?
Sophie Turner's the title character in this movie.
Yeah.
She's one of the least... She's not the worst in the film by a long shot.
Not by a long
but she's one of the least charismatic leads to a thing I've ever seen. Now, yes, the character is going through turmoil. They're not necessarily in likeable mode, but to feel for them, to feel for Jean Grey going through this thing she can't explain that's happening to her from within, and then she's being puppet mastered and manipulated by all these different elements, like her mentor, who she thought had her best interest at heart, and maybe he does, but he's gone about it the wrong way, and the once enemy, who seems to be the only shoulder she can, cry into, this time where she's being perceived as a villain, but she knows there's more to it than that. You've got this alien presence who's suddenly like, I know what's going on with you and I can help you harness it.
Yeah, like Vuk she can.
Vuk.
You thought that was a good... Oh, whatever.
Well, whoever thought it was a good name thought about it too late, because apparently Jessica Chastain didn't even know it was a name until she watched the film. Which means its only uses in subtitles from other characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Amazing. She's got a lot to play with, but none of it works unless we know who Jean is before this happens to her. Spider-Man 3 is many things, not all of them wonderful, but the reason we give a fuck about what's going on with Peter with this black suit parasite thing is because we know him, because of 2 prior movies and the opening 25 minutes to 40-minute mark or whatever when the suit actually starts making an appearance. But
they make Jean start acting weird almost immediately.
Yes.
And
yes, 1,000 times. Yes. So we don't have the comparison.
You're expected to have sympathy for her because of the flashback you see when she's a kid and her powers emerge and her parents... Well, her mum gets killed.
You're an X-Men fan.
Yeah.
When does the X gene kick in? The mutant powers kick in?
Around puberty.
So, on average, 12, 13, 14 is when people start to develop their powers. Rogue in the first X-Men, I think she's 15.
Yeah.
So that's how it happens, right?
Not at the onset of puberty necessarily, but
during puberty. Jean Grey is, I believe, 8 in the opening scene of this movie. I'm sure it's mentioned somewhere. She's 8 years old.
She's an early bloomer.
That's how that works. No. And again, it's the whole thing of, I guess, fine, whatever. It's comic books. It's made up. It's it's a superpower, but it's
how old was...
I guess they wanted to compromise. They couldn't. They were like, we can't have her be old enough to really remember what went on.
Yeah.
But we can't have her too young, so we'll make her 8. But it's
you could have made her any age because the car crash could have given her amnesia or whatever if you really wanted to.
Yeah, or Xavier just wipes her memory of that stuff.
Think about how...
Because it plays it like she suddenly is like, oh, I've realised something. But what happens is she randomly can hear her dad's thoughts, so she knows he's alive.
Yeah. But also,
whereas,
she acts like...
If it was something that Xavier had erased from her memory, that at least would be...
Well, she acts
you betrayed me, you wiped my mind.
Well, he did...
Which would then, he took away...
He made her think that her dad died
in
the crash.
But, you could really lean into the mastermind of it all.
But
by having Xavier go, she's gone through
reason-
this trauma, I'm going to wipe her memory.
The reason it plays like something that she's just discovered is because it is something that she just discovered because they didn't write it in for the character when she first started playing the character, and now she's got to change the way she plays the character because she's got this tragic backstory that you don't get in Apocalypse.
Yeah, in Apocalypse, Scott gets circumstances that lead him to going to the Xavier Institute, and he just meets Jean and they get on.
Jean's there
Now, Famke Janssen
wearing a massive shouldered tops.
Famke Janssen did, a version of the Dark Phoenix story in X-Men 3 and X-Men The Last Stand. But, even in that movie, there's a good sort of, 15, 20 minutes of Jean Grey at the beginning?
Yeah.
You get a sense of who she is?
Yeah.
No, that's a lie. She comes back to life.
Yeah, but you've got those two movies.
I was going to say, you also have the two films. But no, forget what I've just said. You have the two movies.
Yeah.
And then when she reappears, she's a boogeyman.
Yeah.
She's a random resurrection that goes horribly wrong. So, if you're watching that movie but also she's not the main character of that movie. That's the difference.
The movie's not called Dark Phoenix.
If you're watching that movie, she's the antagonist.
She's the B plot.
She's the B plot that turns into the villain at the end.
Yeah, they're making a fucking B plot. It sucks. The whole thing sucks. There's no likable characters in it. Everything feels weird. They insist that every movie has to be set in a different decade for no reason. So you've now got people in their 20s playing characters supposed to be in the late 40s and early 50s.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence doesn't give a fuck.
Let's talk about
she
fucking
does
Jennifer
not
Lawrence.
care. She doesn't want to be there. She can see it in a performance. She gets killed off very early on when Jean starts to that's the inciting incident, is that when Jean loses her temper after finding out after meeting Dad.
She critically injures Quicksilver.
And
kills Mystique.
Kills Mystique and also kills a bunch of policemen, which is what turns the US government against the X-Men. So the X-Men who used to have because one of the X-Men has gone bad, then the X-Men and all mutants are now pariahs again.
Yeah.
Which they do set up because they do talk about this is tension between Mystique and Charles, and that Charles is using she says that Charles is using the X-Men to feed his own ego and to help and to
he's enjoying it. He's enjoying not having to hide, and he's
much.
Shouldn't we all do that? But also, if we play this game a little longer, mutants won't be seen as a problem. They'll be seen as people too that can do cool
and she's
things.
like, oh, it's just one bad day away from us being the bad guys again. And she's right, but she's only right because the script says
one
that
of their own murders someone.
Yeah.
It's not that an outside force does it. It's one of their own.
Yeah, one of them goes bad.
Oh my God, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And because no one could explain that she's gone bad, they just... it's the racism thing. It's like, one of you's gone bad, so you all must be bad. And it's bullshit.
But
bad.
it's not, but it's
bad.
It's cack-handed in the film.
Yeah,
they don't lean into that to sort of, The allegory
There's
here,
a more nuanced way of dealing with it, but the film's not interested in it because the film doesn't like nuance.
Known paedophile Bryan Singer, in his first couple movies, did a really good job as director of those films. Genuinely, again, we're just talking about the artistic merit here.
Yeah.
Did a really good job in those films of utilising his own experiences as a gay man growing up in the 70s.
Yeah.
To tell a story where the X-Men are very clearly, in that first movie, an allegory for... the world they're living in is a world of racial prejudice, sexual prejudice, homophobia, xenophobia. It's the reason why Ian McKellen signed on, because it was pitched from. He's like, my God, there's a great story in here that I can relate to. Let's do this. There's it's handled very well in that. And by this film, the films are forgotten that that's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
In fact, it's sort of forgotten that the X-Men and mutants are a haunted party.
Is that
now,
at the
same time, they use trappings of it.
Everything that makes them interesting.
The MCU, what are they called? The Mutant
Containment Unit.
Containment Unit, is an implication that stuff still exists. The prejudice exists, but it's a department that has been not used yet, and it's okay, that's creepy.
Yeah.
But because the story's about Jean, none of this is focused on in a meaningful way.
Nope.
It's just, we need a bunch of soldiers. So now there's a Mutant Containment Unit.
Cool. How quickly did they get that together? Because it's a couple of days this movie takes place over, and they've got this fucking high-tech train and a whole bunch of specially equipped soldiers. So did they have that waiting? Did that just happen overnight? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Jennifer Lawrence is...
She doesn't care, and she doesn't want to wear makeup, so her makeup looks awful.
Yes, it's the most simplistic version of the Mystique makeup yet.
And also, she goes into, like, Jennifer Lawrence, not Mystique mode for no particular reason.
When they get back to the X-Mansion.
Yeah.
So she's been out in the world looking blue. And then she gets back to all of her students and friends and chosen family, found family, and goes, oh, and turns into Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's like, why would Mystique do that? Yeah. Why would Raven do that? The Raven that we have actually, if you watch these 4 films in their continuity in a row, First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and this one, that is completely in combat with everything Raven would do.
Also,
and it's just because Jennifer Lawrence wants to have some dramatic scenes where she's not wearing makeup.
Also, Beast can turn back and forth at will now, and does for no reason other than they don't have to put Nicholas Hoult in the makeup.
Yeah, like Days of Future Past, explanation. Apocalypse, sort of explanation. This, no explanation.
No,
it's just don't give a fuck.
Just don't want to do
don't
it.
Give a fuck.
Just don't want to do it.
Which completely cheapens First Class.
Yeah,
because obviously First Class is like, yeah, I've done this thing and I've become this. And Raven's story ties into that being like, no, mutant and proud, like, you look amazing. Magneto being like, you look incredible and all this stuff. The idea of, this is what you are now.
Yeah.
And then 3 films go, yeah, but only some of the time. And it's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Was Mystique killed off because they didn't want to pay Jennifer Lawrence a certain amount, / she didn't want to be in the movie?
I reckon they killed off Mystique because, one, Jennifer Lawrence didn't want to do it anymore, and 2, they didn't want to use Jennifer Lawrence anymore.
Because she
didn't want to do it.
I think it's she doesn't give a fuck about this. Let's get rid of this dead weight.
I would argue that not a lot of people involved with this really gave a fuck about it outside of a means to make a bit of cash.
No, but they sold that they were at least invested in the process of making a film. Like, Evan Peters is not in this. Evan Peters is in this as much as Jennifer Lawrence is.
Yeah, well, they take Evan Peters off.
Because they never go back to him, do they?
No. So apparently they shot a scene where they pay off the whole thing from Apocalypse of Quicksilver knowing that Magneto's his father and telling him that, but they didn't use it because it felt like it was in the wrong place in the movie.
Yeah.
It didn't fit, and they shelve him at the start of the film. They take him off the table because they realise that his powers would break it.
Yeah, you'd be able to find Jean within fucking seconds.
Yeah. So they just get him off the table as quickly as possible, and then ignore him for the rest of the film.
They as the Weekly Planet would say, they Professor X'd him.
They Professor X'd him.
Where your character's powerful enough to solve the problem in one go, so you find a weird reason for them to not be involved.
And you never there's never that thing of
also Mystique never transforms. She never uses her power for a mission.
Because a mission power isn't useful for a space recovery mission.
Yeah, she's a pilot. Exactly, but there's no circumstance in the movie where she uses her power, which means that what's the point in her being in the movie? Just don't write her in. Just have a throwaway reference that Raven's recruiting, looking for more mutants. Raven's in whatever, after this young gentleman who can do whatever, and she's trying to bring him back. Or something. Yeah, just there you go. Boom.
Also, Storm is Iceman in this. There's 2 things that Storm does.
Yeah.
One is she makes ice, which is, as far as I'm aware, is not one of Storm's powers. She can make it snow, I guess. So I guess she can create ice by making it snow, or, making it cold by making it windy. How you do that in fucking space, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there we go. She puts ice cubes in people's drinks, I guess. And then she uses lightning on things. So, yeah, alright, I get that. But
only when it suits and gets her ass handed to her by a man with dreadlock tendrils.
Yeah. Don't know who that dude is, but
she has a long fight with that guy and doesn't win. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. That's Storm.
Storm.
A character once mistaken as an actual goddess because of the amount of power she possesses.
Not in the movies, though.
And yet here, a dude with prehensile hair fights and nearly beats her for 5 minutes.
Prehensile.
She's outside as well.
Yeah.
She could summon whatever the fuck she wanted.
She could.
Wind, rain, thunder, lightning. She could summon any
she can
old
apparently
shit
do it in
fire.
space, so she should be able to do it in the middle of New York.
Oh, God. And then there's Nightcrawler, who is given next to nothing to do.
Yep.
Outside of the opening sequence.
Get some cool action moments like in the train fight.
Cool
Everyone gets cool action moments in the train
including
fight.
a really weird... they really established throughout the movie that these aliens don't matter. They are completely pointless and they don't have personalities and they may as well just be putty patrol... they
basically are. They are.
So that gives them an excuse to go, hey, let's have Nightcrawler kill some people. Because he doesn't have to hold back. And it's like... Yeah, but the Kurt we know either from X2 or even what we've learnt of this one isn't a violent person by nature.
Yeah.
Like in X2, he's in the most terrifying opening scene in any of these movies, and it's because he's being brainwashed to murder people.
There's two sort of versions of Nightcrawler that fit into a more violent mode, and that is the Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler, who is a bad dude.
Yeah.
And then there's the sort of swashbuckly, slightly piratey Errol Flynn Nightcrawler.
Yeah, but that's
he's like a swashbuckly, fun-loving piratey kind
Indiana
of
Jones, Robin Hood levels of like, ha!
So they've seen that and they've gone, oh well. We can't do swashbuckler because it's too fun, so we have to do dark. So give him a knife and let him stab a bunch of dudes and kill someone with his tail.
It's just weird. Like at one point where he literally gives like a proper sort of like demon snarl at them and you're like,
yeah,
that's not Nightcrawler though.
It's not really.
He'd use that if it was like to intimidate a villain or whatever, but like these guys have no emotion.
No.
They show no emotion or response whatsoever. So what's the point? There's no
point.
Jubilee is not here.
She just disappears.
She's just not here with no explanation. Really weird when you think about it.
It's been nearly 10 years, so who knows what's going on.
She got killed. There's no Wolverine, and the pilot of the animated series happened. A Sentinel showed up at a Super Bowl, just like ripped her head off.
Yeah. There we go.
There's no Wolverine to save the day.
Schlorp.
Charles Xavier is, in the comics, a very complex character.
Which is to say, he's a bit of a cunt, really.
He's a bit of a cunt, and sometimes knows it, and a lot of the other time it's circumstantial.
He's
he knows he's having to make a dark choice to keep tomorrow a lighter place to be.
He's very much I did this bad thing so that a million other good things can happen. Yeah, he will make sacrifices and treat people like pawns in a game if he thinks that it's for the greater good of his cause.
Yeah. Movie Charles, not so much.
No.
Stewart or McAvoy. No. That's not their thing.
Stewart particularly. The Stewart Xavier is very paternal or avuncular.
He's 90s animated series Professor X. He's I am, you guys are my flock, I'm your shepherd, but I'm not above you, and I'm here to look after you. Like that's what my deal is. I'm here to take care of you and help you be the best you can be. But also listen to me because I do know a thing or two about life and how we should handle this. Yeah. It's like cool, no worries. And then McAvoy's Xavier is the same, but on the way to that journey to being that person. Yeah. So he's flawed. Like we do a whole kind of like drug storyline with the power suppressor and Days of Future Past and
alcoholism.
We see him go from being flirty, dirty student boy to being like, I should probably actually apply myself for the betterment of mutant kind and mankind overall.
It's a very groovy mutation.
It's a very groovy mutation. The Charles Xavier is presented in these movies is not that comic book Charles Xavier. Suddenly in this he is, but like a halfway there version.
Yeah,
but it's really weird and just This is a very unpleasant movie. There's no joy in it.
There is no joy.
There's no joy in it anywhere. Like the only moment of joy is after the space mission. There's the party in like the garden outside the estate.
Yeah.
And for about 2 minutes, the vibe is like, yeah, this is fun. And then it cuts back to Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult pissing and moaning about everything that's going on.
Mm.
And it's like, oh, the joy's gone now.
Yeah. Okay. Basically.
Magneto does not need to be in this.
Nope.
Fassbender brings it. Like he brings
Fassbender
it.
is the most committed out of any of these actors in this. Especially in the weird sort of helicopter tug-of-war moment.
I hate that moment. But you're right. We talked about this.
He fucking sells it.
He sells it. Sophie Turner sort of moving her hands around a bit.
Yeah. He's like properly going for it.
I'm not saying... the idea is it's to show how powerful she is, but it's also just hilarious thinking that like at some point in, 2018?
Yeah.
In a field somewhere, cameras were rolling on Sophie Turner stood there just sort of holding her hand out, and Michael Fassbender holding his hands out and being like he's shitting himself, and
Well, he also
CGI helicopters added in later.
He also gets the best line in the movie.
Oh?
Which is when, Xavier's trying to talk him down from killing Jean after he finds out that Jean's killed Raven and he's gone basically.
Which at least is the one payoff, like, if it's like, why would Magneto need to be able to kill off Mystique? Well, definitely cash in on that then, because these films have shown us that they are very close.
They are very close.
Even though he tried to murder her in Days of Future Past and they spent no time together in Apocalypse, but they're very close.
They're very close. They were very close.
Oh my god, this film expects you to just forget the previous two movies.
Yeah, of course it does. They all do.
But yeah, so Charles is like, don't do this, old friend. McAvoy going for it, giving it as much as he can.
But he doesn't get to say, well, you're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech, but nobody cares.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking great.
Yes.
Which is absolutely like putting Xavier in his place and being a boss. And then we get fucking Ty Sheridan with no balls being like, you touch you, I'll fucking kill you. So we got the F-bomb again.
Yeah,
so
the weird
just because we can, I
we
guess.
have the PG-13 12A, you're allowed one use of the word fuck.
So they have to do
so
it.
they have to. It starts in First Class. First Class is where it first begins.
It's a good gag in First Class.
Yeah. And then it's misquoted in Days of Future Past. Like, they quote it wrong.
They quote it wrong. It could have been a good moment, but they get it wrong.
And then Apocalypse. Who says it's an Apocalypse again?
Oh.
Magneto. Magneto says it. He says something like, who the fuck are you?
Again, really out of place.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right coming out of Magneto's mouth.
It doesn't.
And then in this, Cyclops says it, and it's adorable. It's like, oh, bless.
Oh, it's like little boy trying to show he's got bollocks, even though he's supposed to be in fucking late 20s or whatever.
This Magneto, if Days of Future Past hadn't happened, where he, attempted to murder the president on live television, I would buy the situation Magneto's in this, where, there's an island off the coast of the States. Basically, it's them seeding the idea of Genosha. Like a separate
they've given
paradise.
him an island and he's got mutants living there in peace.
Yeah. And they're just chilling and they grow crops and they've got community.
I can believe Xavier...
He's made all the buildings out of storage containers
and,
and ships. Yeah, you imagine that Charles helped Bart.
I can believe Xavier helped negotiate that.
If it wasn't for Magneto going to murder the president on live television in the 70s. It's like these films forget the other ones exist in their own series. Never mind. It's bizarre.
Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it.
But they definitely don't. I'm going to go to my list because we should move on.
Yeah, go to your list.
We've
got to talk about the New Mutants, which is
very fresh in the mind because we watched it less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah, and it's also I'm going to hazard a guess and say it's better.
Yes,
I don't know if it's good, but it's better than this.
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix.
Here are the notes that I made as well.
Phoenix. That's how you spell Phoenix.
The score's pretty great, actually.
Score's really good. Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer or the interns working for Hans Zimmer, that article came out. Was it the Vanity Fair one?
Who could say?
He, among a load of other composers, it seems, have been utilising the work of other people for years.
What?
Uncredited. No. Although apparently, John Williams and Danny Elfman, good boys.
Yeah, we know John Williams was a good boy.
And Danny Elfman too. I'm very happy about that.
I don't care about Danny Elfman.
I do. Oingo boingo. Anyway.
Boingo.
But the score is probably the strongest score of any X-Men movie. I can't think of another X-Men movie where the score stood out to me. But then again, that might be more of a testament to the fact that the film was so fucking awful, I was focusing on the music.
Yeah, that was all I remember. Was like, oh, this is cool and moody.
Well, that's the old adage, isn't it? The old adage is a good sound. You don't notice a good soundtrack.
Although sometimes you do if it's full of bangers.
Yeah, but the idea is it's so intrinsic to the storytelling that you don't notice the soundtrack, you feel it.
Well, I find the best movie soundtracks are ones where you can listen to them and they elicit the same emotional response as the scene in the movie in which they happen. So
or
things
even if you don't see the film, you hear the soundtrack and you could say to someone, is this a scene where a death happens or it's a light scene, it's a reunion?
Stuff like the binary sunset moment from the original Star Wars, or keeping on the John Williams stuff, the Superman theme, the E.T. theme, the fucking E.T. theme as there's a bicycles flying in front of the moon, which later became the logo for Amblin Entertainment. That kind of Anything from fucking moving off John Williams. Anything from Mad Max Fury Road. The whole thing. Hans Zimmer's Superman theme from Man of Steel. Best bit of music in...
Yeah, the one Man of Steel thing I own is the soundtrack.
Yeah, because the soundtrack's great.
Because it's really, really good.
But this is...
Elfman's Batman March.
Elfman's Batman March!
Fucking Elfman's theme song to The Simpsons.
Elfman.
You know what time you're in for.
Yeah.
You know what the vibe is going to be for the next half hour of your life. Dazzler. Marvel's original intended movie star.
There we go.
Finally appears in a Marvel movie.
We get a comics accurate Dazzler cameo, but that's as close as we get to anything cool in the comics.
Shouldn't she have appeared in Apocalypse?
Yes.
Considering she's very late 70s, early 80s in vibe more than any other decade.
Yes, but this should have been set in 1984 anyway.
Who's Dazzler, for those who don't know?
Dazzler...
She's a mutant. She's a mutant.
A mutant whose power is to transform sound into light. Sound energy into light energy.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, she can take a loud noise and turn it into a laser beam.
Yeah.
Or take some cool music and turn it into and be her own light show, which is exactly what she does because she's a disco / rock / whatever kind of genre.
Sometimes a superhero. Yeah. Usually a touring concert musician. A magician.
Yeah.
She's a musician. She's a magician.
She was originally the Disco Dazzler.
Yes, and she was pretty much created by committee
to be the star of a Marvel movie franchise
in the 70s / 80s.
Yes,
which would have had her as the lead character and Captain America, Spider-Man, and a few others as guest characters in the movie.
Played by... Who did they have to play her? Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields.
Lined up to play her.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite work. Only the comics part of that multimedia experiment happened, and then she became a really popular X-Men character.
She's a fan favourite character.
First appears in the X-Men comics in the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yeah.
As one of the two New Mutants, the other being
so maybe
Kitty
that's
Pryde,
why she's in it. That's their nod to like...
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
So popular, she's like referenced in shitloads. Like there's like a ticket to one of her gigs is one of the things you can find in Spider-Man for PS4.
Yeah.
I think that's in Spider-Man. And then like Miles references like the Dazzler gig or so. It's like she transcends the copyright medium of it all. I want to say
there's a deleted scene in Apocalypse of them getting Dazzler vinyl.
Probably. Yeah, the mall.
Because
the mall stuff's definitely cut short in the film. You can feel it when you're watching it. So she finally made an appearance in the movie. Shame it was this one. There's not a single reason for Mystique to be in her Raven disguise within the movie based on her arc since First Class. Jennifer Lawrence's lack of commitment is worn, or rather not worn, on her face.
Yeah.
Like, she gives 0 shits. I'm surprised.
She looks so bold.
I am surprised that she's blue in her last scene. Like, it'd have been her choice. I bet she wouldn't have been. And then they digitally would have like made her turn into her blue self after she died.
They can't make her not blue though, because it makes no sense for her to not be blue. Because
it makes no sense for her to not be blue in this movie at all. She should have been blue the whole time.
Well, yes, but
surely they had the budget to just motion track it on her face. Like surely,
it would look shit.
Yeah, but it would have looked better than what she's got in this, which is blue face paint with a few prosthetics. So jarringly different from how she looked. Because here's the thing with her Mystique. If you watch these 4 movies, the 4 First Class continuity movies in a row, her makeup changes in every film. Like the first one is a slightly tweaked version of the Rebecca Romijn Mystique design from the original trilogy. In Days of Future Past, it's softened a little bit in terms of like the amount of ridges on her body, which you could imagine was could we trim like an hour off if we just didn't put as many on? Yeah, okay, we'll do that. In Apocalypse, it's simplified even more to be more of an overall blue with some prosthetics.
Yeah.
And then in this, it's just, she's got pale blue face paint. Like, it's not even the same shade from the previous 3 films. No. With some dark blue scale prosthetics put on her forehead and her cheeks.
Ooh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had to digitally do her eyes in this as well, and she'd refuse to wear the contacts just to save time. Just if you don't want to do it, just say I don't want to do it. It's dead simple. Yeah. Like I don't want to be in it, guys. Sorry.
It's alright, we don't want you to be in it. So.
Do you know why Alan Cumming wasn't in X-Men 3, folks? Because they asked him about, would you come back for another one? And he went, no. And they said, why? Did you have an issue with it? And he went, no, it was the makeup. I just couldn't do that again. I'm really sorry. And they went, that's fine, we won't write you in. And sort of like, you could tell that they were like, we don't want to get rid of him completely, but we want to honour his wishes. So, X-Men the video game, which came out around the time of X-Men 3, there are 3 characters you play as over the course of it. Wolverine, Iceman, and Nightcrawler. And Nightcrawler's voiced by Alan Cumming. So they obviously went, look, we'll get your voice booking, we'll pay some money for that, like... So we can still keep you in the franchise, like, around the time of the 3rd movie, even if you're not going to be in the film. Hey, Kelsey Grammer, put all this blue shit on your face. Sophie Turner's inner monologue mumbling is hilariously bad. This is where she's in the alleyway after she's killed Mystique. And she really says, bad. I quote, really I don't know what's happening to me. Why did I do that? Etc. She's just mumbling aloud to herself. It's like a year 9 drama student's been told, just say whatever you think the character's feeling, just say it out loud.
I mean, considering that was a prior acting experience before Game of Thrones, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh my god, snap.
Oh, snap, son.
Certain bits ring as cheap compared to the previous movies.
Yep.
The setting of the fights.
Yep.
The twisting guts visual effect.
Yep.
From the aliens. Multiple scenes of Sophie Turner sat in rooms pretending to have psychic conversations.
Yep.
The helicopter grapple between Jean and Eric.
Yep.
All of it looks like they're saving... This is the first X-Men movie where you can see them saving money on camera.
Oh boy, can you.
It's really weird. And the budget, I imagine, wouldn't be that different from the others. Probably a bit less than Apocalypse, and I imagine that had been down to the fact that they were just like, look, critically that last one did not do well. Let's pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
Genosha / Magneto Shantytown's a great idea, and the buildings made of storage containers and ships look brilliant.
Yep.
The bit where they go to the building in New York, where it's like, wait, so what are they called again? The Dubari have organised, like, getting this building free so that, like, Vuk? So Vuk can have a quiet conversation with Jean despite the fact that they've just commuted from, like, a bar in the arse end of nowhere and they could have talked all the way there.
If you don't like Vuk, you're rather stuck.
Oh, Jesus. But, like, Jean, when they enter the room, she goes, this is what you wanted to show me? No, indicating the room.
This is the room.
Let's put, Jean, you're a fucking idiot. She just brought you into a room.
Yes, Jean is an idiot. It's the scriptwriter's conundrum of, this character has to say something here, but they have nothing to say.
When Storm can be knocked around by a dude with prehensile hair, you've completely misused your chance to write Storm.
You have.
Making Charles walk is genuinely horrific.
That is horrific.
Where Jean sort of is like, you said you could do anything you put your mind to, prove it, walk. And then she, like, makes him walk up the stairs, but obviously he's not walking. He's sort of like being kind of held above the ground a bit, and is like.
Well, he's telekinetically bringing him to her while dragging his feet across the floor as she makes his legs move. It is horrifying. It's really effective. Really
but it also just makes you hate Jean.
Yeah.
And prior to that, she tries to crush Magneto's head with his own helmet and then shatters it.
Yeah, because there's no sort of feeling that the Force is corrupting Jean in this. It's just Jean's just being a prick.
Like, when Magneto goes to stab her in the eye with a banister rail, which is his thing he's doing to kill her.
Yeah.
Does he stop himself because he can't bring himself to do it? Or does she stop it from happening? Because she says, like, and you came all this way and you couldn't even do it. Pathetic. Like, is that her fighting against him? Or is that him?
No, it must be because he changes his mind later on, doesn't he? He's like, don't want to kill him anymore. I had to change your heart.
But, like, if you're going to unwind a banister just to stab her in the eye, why not use it to, like, bind her in place or something? Or stab her through the chest? Or, like, tie up Jessica Chastain's character and throw her out the way and be like, right, what's happening to you? What are they doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, show that he's changed his mind.
Don't you?
Because no one thought.
No one thought to do it, and the script needs him to not.
Fucking stupid. The film expects you to give a shit about Jean and how she's fallen, but we barely know this Jean. It presents her as a damaged child and then turns into a villain. We never got to spend time with her and learn about who she is before the film's events kicked in.
Nope.
The film has an ensemble cast, but it feels like Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, Storm, and even sometimes Cyclops are a complete afterthought.
Well, yeah, literally with Quicksilver, he just gets written out immediately.
The train action sequence is cool. That's it. And Jean's ending narration is odd.
It's very odd.
Is she just floating in space narrating?
I guess.
Because, like, I guess it's meant to mimic the ending of X2 after Jean dies in the lake and then you see this thing shining through the water.
When you use narration as a device, you have to be kind of careful about where it's coming from. Like, I know I'm comparing it to MCU stuff. Get off my ass. Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Uses narration, which none of the other Marvel movies really use.
Yeah.
But with the reveal that he's been telling the story to Bruce Banner.
Yeah. So, like, by the end of it, you're like,
oh, yeah, that's where the narration is.
Character building in universe, thematically makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect summation there. They don't do that in this. They just go, and use it in the archetypal, stereotypical, we had no idea what to do, so we did this.
I don't want to be, like, reductive and say that voiceover like that is lazy, but there's good ways to do it and there's bad ways to do it.
It's one of the most commonly used shortcuts. That's the problem.
Yes.
Like
this was definitely veering more towards the Blade Runner use of it than the fucking the aforementioned Iron Man 3 use of it.
We are using this to iron over the edit a bit and change the context. Blade Runner version.
I don't know what they were doing, but this movie's a fucking mess.
Do you know what movie wasn't as much of a mess as I thought it was?
It was nowhere near as much of a mess as I thought it was.
The New Mutants. I watched this for the first time last night with your good self and our better halves, and a sleeping dog, and pizza and ribs, and
Reacher and Pibbs.
Before we went in, Keek said to me that it's you can see that there's a good film in here somewhere.
Yeah.
What makes it disappointing is that, like, every choice made works against it.
I don't know about every choice made, but a lot of the choices they make work against it. Yeah.
So The New Mutants is the final film in the Fox X-Men franchise.
Originally envisioned as the start of a trilogy, which is even
a spin-off trilogy, which would have been 3 different horror movies. The first one, this one was going to be.
I don't even think they would have been horror movies. I think they would have been 3 different genres.
Oh no! I read a thing with Josh Boone.
Yes, because the second one was supposed to be an alien invasion.
Second one was going to be Alien Invasion. Yeah. And the third one was going to be a full-on trip to hell, zombies and demons fest.
Cool.
So it was going to be like different genres of horror, veering more into blockbuster versions. But this first one was going to be a psychological, supernatural, closed-in horror film. Well, at first, makes you hear that and you think, wait, an X-Men movie that's a horror movie? What? Why? What's the point? Well. Comics can play around with their genre and you can create some really cool things. I recently finished a series all about Ravencroft, the asylum outside of Manhattan, that heavily featured Spider-Man characters like Wilson Fisk, John Jameson, your characters like Misty Knight that are all integral to the series, but none of it is played in the way that a normal Spider-Man or Spider-Man adjacent book would be. It's a horror story. And it works. Works fine. Because why not? Fuck it. It's a wide universe. You can have different tones.
Yeah.
And the premise of this does lean into that quite nicely. We have a facility where mutant kids who've either been detained, arrested, or sent here after their mutant powers have resulted in a fatal accident or
they're deemed to be dangers either to others or to themselves.
Yeah, and someone's wrangled it along the way to be like, hey, look, they're mutant power, they're kids, they're mutants. They didn't do these things on purpose. Yeah. So let us rehabilitate them, and they've been brought to these places. And our main character who's brought in, our protagonist, and the fucking marketing wouldn't suggest this at all. It's seen very much as an ensemble movie from the outside, but it's Danny Moonstar.
Danielle Moonstar, played by Blue Hunt, I want to say her name is.
Yeah. Comic book alias Mirage? She's Mirage, yes. Right? Yeah. One night, she and her father and basically her entire family and community.
Her entire community, yeah. She's a Cherokee Native American.
Yeah, and she's also, I was researching the movie a bit, she's this is the first ever proper Native American lead in a blockbuster feature released by an American film company. Yep. I do not remember them ever making a fuss about that at any point during this movie's production.
Of course not.
That's a big fucking deal. And furthermore, bizarre that it's taken this long for that to just happen in general. What the fuck?
And also, not only that, also a queer character.
Yeah, which again, I had no idea about that going into this. Yeah, I had no idea that they were going to.
There's a queer romance at the heart of this movie.
Part of this film.
Yeah,
and it's just it's a very rushed one, which is sort of weird, but that's
But,
that's script issues.
It mostly works.
Yeah, it's cute as fuck. And it's just like, why was this... Guys, do you realise how much more business this movie would have done in whatever era?
Yeah, look at what you were sitting on, you know what I mean?
If you'd relied solely on this to get attention, but considering the lack of attention the movie was getting due to various circumstances and complications, wouldn't have hurt to say to people like, by the way, first Native American female lead in a big blockbuster movie ever. And
look at that poster. She's literally she's centre, but she's at the back of the rest of the cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck's that?
Yeah. Danielle is orphaned and separated from her community after she believes a creature,
she gets
tore
told
through
it's
the
a
place.
tornado, but we all know the truth.
Yeah, because it seems to match specifically the legend of the demon bear that she's known since she was a kid. Because, snow arrives, it begins to snow before it arrives, which is a genuinely eerie idea. The doctor's like, hang on, it's snowing in the height of summer, and she's like, it always snows before it arrives. That's how it works.
Yeah.
And then later on in the film, they use that to great effect when suddenly it begins to snow, and you're like, oh shit. So she's brought to this facility, and she's looked over by Dr. Reyes. Celia Reyes?
Well, they never give her a first name in the movie, but
there is an X-Men character who has been an X-Man.
Who's been an X-Man with the same powers.
Yeah.
Called Dr. Cecilia Reyes.
Cecilia
in the comics.
Reyes, yeah.
There's the slight difference between, and there's two examples of characters that have done this within this movie. The Cecilia Reyes of the comics is African-American woman.
Yeah.
Who's playing her in this? The Latina, Anna, what's her fucking name? Great actress. She's in all sorts of stuff, but she's
very good, and she's kind of underused in this. Really, she doesn't get to play it beyond the same. She sort of plays it on one level throughout the film, and it's because the script doesn't really give her the opportunity to play it on any other level. And maybe she did, and that just didn't make the edit.
Alice Braga.
Alice Brava.
Braga.
This film, the part was originally cast. I found this out last night.
Yep.
Rosario Dawson.
That would make more sense.
And then, quote unquote,
that's better casting,
because things got put back so much. Quote unquote, scheduling conflict led to them having to recast.
The other example of that, of course, is Henry Zaga, who is playing Bobby DaCosta in this, aka Sunspot.
Yes, he is. He is of Brazilian descent. And Josh Boone, when challenged on this, was, I just wanted the best person for the role. I feel like him being, of Brazilian descent, is still important because we're still keeping that part of the character's legacy. And the way he phrased it was, what's the actor's name?
Henry Zaga.
Henry Zaga. He said, if Henry Zaga did not exist or did not audition, then I'm sure the chances are I would have cast someone closer to the comic.
Well, in the comic,
I saw his audition and I wanted him. That being said, I guarantee there would have been people who auditioned for it who would be as good. Because he's very good in it. He's very good in the role. But it's a bit like, it's weird that you've got two characters.
A.K.A. Sunspot in the comics is an Afro-Brazilian man.
Yes. So the fact that you've got... That's what makes it weird. The fact that it's two characters. Who have been not whitewashed.
They've still got Latinx. How do you say that?
Latin. I've always said Latinx because
they've still got those.
Living in the UK,
Yeah.
No one's ever really corrected me or talked to me about it.
So,
and
but
if anyone
please
knows
correct
it's
us.
pronounced differently, please let us know.
Please correct us. I only ever see it written in articles, or on Twitter. We've got two Latinx, actors playing those characters, but they're missing their Afro-American / Afro-Brazilian heritage from the screen version of those characters, and it just feels weird.
It's odd that the two characters that aren't white characters
because it's not
are both racially adjacent from the actual. Whereas all the characters who are white, you found white actors to play them. So
Native American actor playing Native American role, good stuff there, but just feels weird. Just feels a bit weird.
Feels odd. Daniel arrives there, and Dr. Reyes is like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Look, something's going on with you. Do you know what mutants are? You do? Cool. I think you're one of them. We need to get to the bottom of what your power is exactly. I think she phrased it as, you survive whatever happened because of your power. That's how she phrases it to Danielle at first. She's like, you survive the tornado because of your power.
Yeah.
And we need to sort of look into it and help you harness it and control it. And I'm here to help. Her introductory scenes, like, there's a hint of something sinister going on because when she wakes up, she's handcuffed to the bed. But the bed is also not bolted down, and she's able to move around the room with the bed. And when she does that, Dr. Ray shows up and is like, hi. Yeah, it's all right. You can sit down. It's cool. And they have a scene of her in Dr. Ace's office, and they're having, like, cocoa together, and it's very familiar.
Yeah.
It feels very much like a Charles Xavier introduction to a character. Like, it feels like we're watching Rogue meet Charles Xavier again, or, that kind of vibe. And it's quite sweet. She's basically like, look, you're here because I think you've got this thing, and there's some other people here who have abilities, and everyone's experience has been different. But point is, if I can prove to, at first it's alluded to, like, the state, that you're okay,
my superiors,
that phrasing starts to show up a lot. But she's like, if I can prove to the state that you're, a good citizen and you've got a cap on this, you have a control of these powers, then I can, chances up you'll be able to walk free, or, like, check in with us from time to time or whatever. But the other characters, the other people there are like, I don't think that's why we're here. And then the superiors mention keeps dropping.
Yeah.
And that's when some of them begin to speculate that what they think's happening is that they're being secretly piloted to join the X-Men.
Yeah.
Or Xavier's Academy. Although the mentions of it are dropped down to just a gesture to mimic Xavier and 2 mentions of the word X-Men. Because at some point during the film's production, Fox, not Disney, keeping in mind the acquisition happened during all this, Fox requested that they lessen the amount of references to X-Men.
Yeah. They also...
Fox, who were desperate for a cinematic universe franchise that they were looking to cross over Fantastic Four and X-Men and stuff in the 2010s, were going, maybe don't. They also said to do that so that the film could be more of a horror movie, which is what Boone wanted.
Yeah.
And then during the production of it, and especially the edit, they went, actually, could you peel back on the horror? It's just like, wait, hang on.
Well, but then they asked for reshoots.
Yes.
Partly to make it scarier.
Mm-hmm.
However, they never
less
happened.
Bloody, but still scary. And it's like, wait, hang on. What? But then those reshoots never happened. Exactly. Because this film, the reason why some of you listening to this are like, there was another X-Men movie after Dark Phoenix? Really? I didn't know that. It's because this movie was meant to come out in 2018 and then was put back to 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It was shot by 2018. Like, it was in the can.
Mm-hmm.
It was meant, and then it was going to come out in 2019. And then the Disney Fox acquisition began. The Disney acquisition of Fox, 20th Century Fox.
Yep.
So everything was thrown into limbo a bit. Then the reshoots were requested, and they were going to happen late 2019, early 2020. And they didn't. And then that was it. The reshoots were originally going to happen in 2019.
Yep.
But they were postponed.
Yep.
Then the release of the film was postponed because they were determined to do the reshoots.
Yep.
The reshoots were scheduled for late 2019 and into early 2020.
Yep.
They didn't happen. Pre-pandemic, by the way, everybody. Pre-pandemic.
Yep.
So this was a choice.
Yep.
The film then eventually got its actual release 2 years later than intended in late 2020 as a digital-only release.
Yep.
Even over here in the UK, it kind of had no marketing whatsoever.
Well, it's like every time marketing pinned up, it got put back again.
Yeah.
To the point where when it did come out, they marketed it with the tagline, "Hell is frozen over."
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
knew what was going on.
Weird, but amazing.
Yeah, weird, but amazing.
And by that point, it was decided behind the scenes that this would not be the first of a trilogy. It would be the last MCU, the last Fox Marvel movie. That this would be it. Although Josh Boone held out hope that the film potentially could get a sequel still, whether it be MCU or not, based on its performance. And then a year later, confirmed that, yeah, it's not happening. Who are the other folks there? We've got...
So we've got Danny Moonstar.
And
Cecilia Reyes, the Doctor. And then we've got the other patient. So, we've got the extremely rude, abrasive, and just downright racist Ilyana Rasputin, aka Magic, who has a little hand puppet dragon called Lockheed. We've got the...
Comic fans, you know the dragon?
Constantly nervous, constantly bruised, and, you know, clearly traumatized young Sam Guthrie, aka Cannonball, played by Charlie Heaton. We've got the rich kid jerk who we don't know what his power is at first because he doesn't want to talk about it.
Even the other kids don't really know.
Yeah, they don't know because he's never really shows it off and he doesn't want to talk about it. Roberto da Costa, aka Sunspot. And finally, we have the shy, small, retiring, but also slightly cheeky, Rain Sinclair, aka Wolfsbane. And that's our other Game of Thrones curse contestant, Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
I actually think he's pretty good in this. Like, her accent's a bit dodgy.
Her Scottish accent's a little wibbly, yeah. Her scenes...
The accent's slippy.
The scenes between Rain
Yes.
and Danny, like, the scenes between them as they're, like, sort of young love blossoms.
Yeah.
Great. Some of the best stuff in the movie.
Yeah.
Bit weird that it happens over the course of 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, if there was implication that they'd all been there a bit longer, maybe I'd buy it a bit more.
Yeah.
Considering, you know, it's like Danielle is mourning the death of her father and her extended family,
Yes.
like, from 2 days prior that happened.
Yes.
So the fact that she's immediately like, I'm in a teenage romance now, is a bit like, wait, slow down. Hold your fucking horses. But there's a very genuine warmth to the interactions the two of them have. The scene where they are just lay on the lawn, like looking up at the sky, and when the rain comes down and hits the force field that's surrounding the facility, and it makes these nice patterns. Like, that's really cute. That scene between them is really sweet.
Yeah. Yes.
And again, very tasteful. The film doesn't do anything gross with it. Like, you know what I mean? The film doesn't do anything where it's like, you know, those two girls in love.
It's never leering.
There's never any of it. The most reference to it you ever get is the kind you get between two mates, like watching their mates fall in love, where you briefly see
there's a little bit of that
and Cannonball sort of go like, what's going on with those two?
Yeah.
And then he sort of looks at the thing and he goes, cheers. And they clink their glasses together. And they're not doing it in like a, you know, whoa, yeah, cool. They're doing it like a, oh, all right, that's it,
cool.
fair
Yeah,
enough. You know, it moves on. I mean, the ages of the characters are never determined. So...
Yeah, I mean...
some clarification would have been nice, but, like, Danielle is really...
How old are they?
They really do lean on her... She's coded very much to be a young teen.
She is coded young, yeah.
And her powers have just come around. So
how old was she at the time of filming? So... Blue Hunt was born in 95... So at the time of filming in 2018, she would have been 23?
Okay. The coder in this have been like 14, 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
She and Rain are sort of played off as being the youngest members of the group as well.
I mean, Maisie Williams always looks super fucking young, but she would have been 21. She's a couple of years younger than Blue Hunt. Annie Taylor-Joy, again, I think Magic in this is pitched about 16, 17, maybe 18.
I'd say older at a stretch, but with a lot of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Like, she's a rebellious little punk teen still.
But again, she would have been...
Because she's like, look at me, I'm happy and living life, and I don't care what anyone thinks, because of her pastiness, alluding to her childhood having been sort of taken from her.
She would have been 22 at the time of filming. Charlie Heaton, again, 18. 17 maybe.
The character, yeah.
The character, but then he would have been 20. He's actually older to the cast so far. He'd have been 24.
Yeah.
And then you've got Henry Zaga, who was
born one day.
He was born one day. I can't find his date of birth on here.
Let's presume
but he would have been
mid to late 20s.
But
now.
He also looks like the oldest one of the kids.
Yeah. So
like he looks like he could be 20.
So what are the stories as to why they're all there? Rain's there because...
Oh, he's the oldest of the cast. He would have been 26 at the time of filming.
Fair dues.
No, 20... Yeah, 20... No, 25. 25.
So,
at the time of filming.
Rain's there because a priest... She comes from a very religious community and family. And a priest nearly killed her. Because she was declared a witch.
Yeah.
What was the incident? Do we ever find out what the initial incident was that resulted in that?
She went to her priest to tell him about what was happening.
Yeah, which turns out she's becoming a wolf.
Yeah. So and then he beat her nearly half to death and branded her.
Yeah.
And then she killed him.
Yes.
Because we get to see him...
She turned into a wolf and fucking murdered her.
Yeah. We get to see the later her fear dream version of him, and he's got his face all fucked up. Yes.
We've got Cannonball, who was there an initial incident that occurred with him? He worked down a mine, didn't he? With the family.
Yes.
The family worked down mines. So did something happen in the coal mine?
Yeah, his powers went off and he caused a mine collapse.
That's
killed
it.
His dad and a bunch of the other miners.
There we go. Which is why his hallucinatory fear is all of the miners ganging up on him, and his dad in particular being "You're a monster.
What did you do?
What did you do?
What did you do?"
Magic claims to have murdered, was it 18 men?
Yeah.
And she brags about it.
Yeah.
On reflection, was probably her escaping from the situation she was in.
Yeah.
Which we'll elaborate on when we talk more about the monsters in the movie. And then Sunspot, we don't learn until his sort of big scene, which was, I think, the best scene in the film. In terms of just visuals and how it was executed. Where we learn that his powers bloomed while he was getting intimate with his girlfriend about the age of 14, 15. And what are Sunspot's powers in a nutshell?
Well,
the film simplifies it a little bit. The film goes, hey, you guys seen the Human Torch? He's the Human Torch.
In the comics, Sunspot, he absorbs solar energy, and then he can use that to transform into a super strong version of himself, with the trade-off that something to do with the way that he uses solar power, he basically turns completely black.
Yeah.
And sort of absorbs light and looks fiery.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually generates heat, though.
No.
But then later on, someone fucked around with his genetics and gave him, fire-throwing powers and a bit of flight as well.
So, he goes super strong and looks like he's sort of burning in the centre of
it's a really cool
flame.
look. It's a really cool visual.
And then later on, he gets the ability to wield some of that solar energy as physical, beams/fireballs. So, Human Torch adjacent.
Yeah,
this, he's basically the Human Torch.
Yeah, it's cool because he's got black to the point where there's no features, and he's got the sort of corona around him.
Yeah,
it's a really, really cool look. Which they kind of get near to in this.
Yeah, toward the end of he uses powers twice in the film.
Yeah.
And the second time is when it's part of the third act, and he sort of flares up a lot more, and in the centre his body looks more blackened and decoloured, all colour taken out of it, and the flame is what's highlighting him. But his nightmare scene where he thinks he's spending time with Ilyana, and then he turns around and Ilyana's on fire and looks like a charred up corpse that's burning.
And because it turns out that's what happened when his powers first manifested. That happened to his girlfriend because of his powers.
So, we're dealing with some characters with some heavy baggage here, especially when we realise that the thing that killed Danielle's family was her.
Yes.
By accident.
Yes.
But it's what happened because her power is essentially taking your fears or your anxieties and manifesting them as sometimes hallucinations, sometimes physical manifestations.
Yeah.
Which makes her the most powerful person in there by default.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like magic's quite powerful. Like magic in this, it's simplified to her power was she creates a realm.
Yeah.
Like she creates like a limbo.
Yeah.
To hide in.
Yeah.
And because is there impetus in the comics for like sometimes a mutant's powers being related to their story, their life, like an evolutionary thing of their evolving to cope?
Not off the top of my head, but it would make sense.
Because usually it seems just like a random grab bag. It seems like you shoot lasers from your eyes, your brother shoots them from his tits, and you control the weather, and you just make ice do things. Ah, well done, congrats! You got the strength and speed of a monkey, and eventually you're gonna turn blue and furry. And it's just like, okay, sure. Whereas in this, it's like she's created a place to hide.
Yeah.
And in there, she seems to also have created like an armoured gauntlet on one arm with a sword, and her little puppet dragon Lockheed can be made into a dragon if she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay. And it's sort of, the dimension that she's created to hide in is also used as like a teleportation power. Sometimes she'll just vanish into it and then appear somewhere else.
Yeah.
So she's quite OP, but Mirage is going to get everyone killed.
Yeah.
So the plot of the movie essentially is the newcomer, who is new to all of this and terrified and has lost her family, falls in love and can't quite control her powers as they are creating individual hallucinatory horror film scenarios for all the other people in the building. And by all the other people in the building, I mean literally the 6 characters we've mentioned, because no other fucking people appear in that building at any point.
Yep.
Dr. Reyes, controls it. Dr. Reyes, I'm doing it now before anyone else does it.
No one else was going to do it.
Dr. Reyes,
But there we go.
Can I play the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before. She generates force fields. That's her. She's a mutant too. And her power is she generates, energy projected force fields around things. And she's got one around the whole facility, which is apparently 20 miles away from the nearest town, except for that one shot from the top of the clock tower where you guys pointed out that, yep, that's a whole fucking town.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
It's fucking weird.
Minutes after they've told you there's no town anywhere nearby.
Because it doesn't feel like...
It can't be the rest of the facility because that necessitates other workers.
Yeah.
But at one point, they go to the canteen and it's just the 5 of them. There's no one working behind the counter.
No one there.
There's no one preparing meals. There's no orderlies.
Roberto was always doing the
other...
fucking dishes. Every other scene he's in, he's doing the fucking dishes.
Now, maybe it's an off-the-grid thing. Maybe the idea is it's the illusion that there's more going on and there'd be more people working here.
Well, it's definitely an off-the-grid thing because, as we find out later on, it's nothing to do with fucking X-Men.
Yeah, Dr. Reyes' superiors are the Essex Corporation, who are looking to, based on when Danielle gets sort of a flash of Reyes's, not fears, but memories, that she reaches in to her mind briefly, which is apparently how she takes people's fears and manifests them. In the film, we learn that she sort of learns about her new friend's fears, and then the fears manifest as a hallucination or a physical thing. Or in the case of Magic and Dr. Reyes, she sees into their head briefly. So it's like her power is going to do things regardless of whether she wants to herself or not, which is, an interesting notion. But we see into Dr. Reyes' head briefly and see that there is a facility that is corralling dangerous mutant cases together.
Yep.
And that's who her superiors are. And Danny has been deemed too dangerous. She's not going to be able to be controllable, or she will fight back.
Yes.
So she's going to be knocked out.
Well, I don't even
experimented on / dissected, and then she's basically going to be euthanized.
I don't think it's even that they're going to be that she's going to be able to fight back. It's just they can't. The power's too unpredictable.
Whereas if they can get that genetic code, maybe they can do something with it. Maybe
yes, exactly.
Because the Essex Corporation, the film doesn't expand on who that is or what it's about, but it reuses footage from Logan instead of shooting new footage to show you what's going on at the other facility.
Yeah.
And a very distinct shot from Logan of a child using psychic or telekinetic powers to
Well, I also think
fling a practice mannequin and then doctors around the room. And it's such a memorable shot that when it happened, I turned to you and I went, wait, when is this set? Because Logan's an alternate future.
But
it's not.
Also, I think that
it's not like part of the canon.
There's a moment where someone's got one of them on the floor and he's going to get him with a taser stick. I think that's Boyd Holbrook, but with his back to you.
Yeah. Oh, they very specifically use shots where you can't see anyone's face.
Yeah.
And not in like a, could this be? In a, we don't want to pay any likeness rights for actors in footage that's been used kind of way. As in, we're saving money by using footage we already own kind of way. I don't think it's meant to allude that it's the same facility as Logan. Because again, when Logan was coming out, Richard E. Grant's in it, the rumour was he was playing Mr. Sinister.
Yes.
Nathaniel Essex.
Yes.
And then it's revealed he isn't. That's not who he's playing at all. The Essex Corporation...
We're not doing something as ridiculous as Mr. Sinister because we strip all the interesting and cool things out of these X-Men comics when we adapt them into films.
Except we do want to do that for some reason because the post-credits of X-Men Apocalypse alludes to it. That Wolverine's DNA from the Weapon X facility is being taken by the Essex Corporation.
Well, it's believed that John Hamm was cast as Nathaniel Essex for this film.
He was. I've looked it up since you mentioned it. He was cast for that role.
None of that. Whether how much was filmed or what was filmed,
something was shot.
So
whether it was with John Hamm or not, we don't know. But he was cast, and then something was shot in relation to the character.
So, but we'll never fucking see that.
Mad, isn't it? But so the Essex Corporation rears its head first in these movies and the post credits of X-Men Apocalypse.
Yep.
They go to the Weapon X facility and take DNA of Wolverine's, him having escaped in the new continuity. They take DNA of Wolverine's. It's alluded to in Deadpool 2 because the orphanage where they're experimenting on mutants, where Russell comes from, is an Essex. Is an Essex facility.
Yep.
So Deadpool 2 begins the idea of there's this dude quietly experimenting on mutants in various different ways who's not even hands-on, but he's getting the stuff sent to him from other places. And in the case of Deadpool 2, it seems like he's taken a very anti-mutant, extra-religious dude and have him run this academy. And is experimenting on the mutants in the name of God and everything, but is ultimately working in a place that this film then outright suggests is a means to an end.
Yes.
Because this film shows us that, oh, look, there's also this version of it going on with Dr. Reyes. What does Dr. Reyes get out of this? What does Dr. Reyes, the mutant, get out of experimenting on and potentially dissecting young mutants for a company?
Not getting experimented and dissected herself, I guess. Maybe she does it for the kicks. Maybe she's just like a bit of a punch clock villain. Maybe she just does it because that's
but it is a bit weird to take a character who's a hero in the books, make her a villain, and not really show us any reason as to why she's a villain.
Yeah,
They find a creepy way to use her powers. Like, at one point she traps them all in bubbles, and it's sort of kind of hilarious because it feels out of place by that point in the movie. But then she just, decreases the size of them to restrain the other four, and greatly decreases Danielle's to basically asphyxiate her.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's grim as fuck. Especially considering 5 minutes ago she was being asphyxiated on a fucking, life support system anyway. Mm-hmm. The kid goes through a lot. Yeah, so we get those hallucinations for everyone else. Magic's is the most disturbing, and I think, on reflection, and thanks to you guys sort of going, here's what we think of this based on the first time we watched it.
Yeah.
I think it's actually the most clever interpretation. Magic's backstory is not outright said, but we see several scenes of her as a child in a bed, pretending to be asleep, as a tall, lanky man in a sort of very, very expensive looking shirt and trousers and everything's covered in tattoos and he's got jewellery.
Yes.
Lays over the bed and is wearing a plastic mask with a smiley face on it.
Yes.
And then the more we see of these people and the hallucinations and then the eventual manifestations of them,
the creepier they get.
You take the mask off. Yeah, they're Slender Man smiley men. They're really long. They're about 7 to 8 feet tall.
To the point where before
they're really scrawny, and the plastic smiley mask is hiding a picture Venom. Now,
Get rid of the eyes.
Get rid of the eyes and colour his skin like
skin.
Caucasian skin colour. And that's what these guys look like. They look really creepy. Like, they look really, really creepy. And you in case said, like, look at the way they're dressed really well.
Yeah,
they're kind of dressed like really creepy gangster, like that pimp kind of vibe, like trafficker maybe. It was like, oh god, you're right. Yeah. Magic killed 18 people because when her powers manifested, she used them to murder the people who were trafficking her. Or the ones who were directly abusing her. She was a child, a trafficked child.
Yeah.
Really fucking creepy.
And
it's like, oh, she's picturing them as monsters.
Yeah.
Not because she met monsters, not because there were mutant men that she met. Like,
because that's what her child memories make of them.
And she fucking clutched onto that puppet dragon for dear life for psychological support.
Although maybe it's also a real dragon. Maybe
then it's in the dimension that's tied to the powers, maybe. But like, it also made me realise the mask that they're wearing. Did they wear a version of that? And that's why she pictures horrible demonic smiles underneath them. Which just makes it even weirder, because it's like they've gone, oh, you can charm the kid by wearing this mask.
I don't think it is charm the kid.
They'll be less creeped out, and you won't get seen. It's just, fucking gross and creepy.
Although, of course, the implication is also that she killed all of them.
Yes. So, yay. Doesn't excuse her being a racist piece of shit for the majority of the movie.
This movie's got some race issues.
Like, which characters in this are likeable? Danielle's likeable.
Sam.
Rain's likeable. Sam's likeable. With his hilarious old man voice.
Roberto's mostly likeable.
You just don't really spend much time with both the lads to get to know them better. You sympathise.
Yeah, you spend more time with Sam. And the thing that
you sympathise and you empathise with them.
Sam's the only one of them who gets on with everyone.
Ileana's desperately unlikable.
Yeah.
But as a viewer is likable because Anya Taylor-Joy's having a lot of fun playing the role.
Yes.
Dr. Reyes is obviously not likable because she's the fucking villain.
I guess with a little more massaging and a bit of reshooting and editing, they could have made it a bit more like her throwing walls up.
Yeah,
which is clearly what they're going for.
Why they had to be racist walls, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
At one point, she wears her hair in buns that kind of look like her mask/headpiece.
Yeah.
Yay!
I think there's a way to do it with that character of her like falling back on that sort of racist jibing to be a dick deliberately.
And maybe there was footage for that.
And it may well be that's where they've got. That's what I would have done with it if
If I'd looked at the edit that as it existed, I would have been like, she's just coming across as a piece of shit. Like we need to show the cracks a little more.
And then she comes across as a piece of shit, and then she's not.
Like she just suddenly is a good guy.
Yeah.
Because Danielle brings her Lockheed.
Yeah.
She's like, here's your puppet. And suddenly she's like, oh, I love you now. She's like Doug from Up. It's like, I love you.
After she's already tried to kill Danny for taking the puppet in the first place.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Our third act is when they realise that Danny's going to get killed by Dr. Reyes. So Rain rescues her, and then they all confront Dr. Reyes, having easily defeated her twice with both bamboozlement and drugging her coffee. Her powers still work when she's unconscious.
Yes.
Which I guess they'd have to make sure that the kids never leave the facility.
But also, Danny's work when she's unconscious.
Danny seemed to manifest when she's unconscious completely.
So it seems like...
But Danny's powers rely on the subconscious anyway, don't they? On other people's subconscious. So I get there's sort of like there's a thematic element to that. Like she's got to be out cold for it to be at full power.
That would also mean that Reyes' sort of manifestation of a force field is...
reliant on her projecting it like willfully in every moment. I guess you could just be like, I'm just going to cast one around that place.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a fire
and
and forget thing. Like it's an on-off as opposed to a.
I'm thinking Sue Storm. That's why I'm thinking it for Sue Storm kind of POV.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then in quite possibly the most hilarious and genuinely entertaining shot of the whole movie, it begins to snow outside as Danny is running out of air in the bubble and fainting. Mm-hmm. And then a giant fucking demon bear about 6 stories high.
Yeah, comes in deep blue seas.
The
Reyes.
The length of half of a football pitch. Just bursts its head through the wall and devours Reyes in front of them all. Which then cuts off the force fields.
Yep.
It's like, oh, now it turns off.
Yep.
And then the end of the third act is them fighting off the demon bear. And eventually Danny sort of meeting with a version of her father in her head and her own subconscious and realising that, like, no, he's right. Like, the fable he always told me about there being two bears in everyone. Yeah. Like, you know, a good bear and a bad bear. One feeds on everything good and light and one feeds on fear and everything bad. And they're only as strong as what you feed them. Like, she sort of comes around, sees that her newfound family and the racist Russian are in danger and tames the bear.
Yeah.
So she's not necessarily got a handle on her powers, but she knows how to stop them getting out of hand. She's learned how to do that by the end of the film, basically.
Yeah.
Getting out of hand is a turn of phrase, not anything to do with the severed hand that they briefly interact with a few moments later. That felt out of place. It was really weird. I like the look of the demon bear.
Demon bear looks cool as shit.
And the fight with it at the end does visually look fucking cool.
There's some really neat stuff in there.
And there's a great thing of them all using their powers to look out for each other.
Yep.
And it's like, they're embracing who they are. And they're not allowing anyone else to dictate what their path is. And that's the message of the film, I guess. The idea is, like, you know, be true to yourself and don't let other fuckers tell you what to do. Like, if you feel that they mean you ill, then trust your gut and look after your friends and stay strong as a family and all that shit.
It's true.
And then it ends with them walking out of the place. I like the downbeat ending, like the downbeat. I like the low-key ending of them just walking out of the facilities together. Yeah. It's cute. And the fact that, like, a couple of them haven't bothered to pack anything, because why bother?
Well, they haven't got anything,
The others have sort of made, like, a little bag each of whatever they could pick up, I guess. And it's like, that's kind of cute. It's a nice ending, like, sort of like, yeah, cool. I appreciate that. I was surprised by the lack of post-credits. I don't know if that was restraint or just the fact they had nothing.
Probably the fact they had nothing.
They probably would have done a post-credit scene in the reshoots.
Yeah, there might have been a Mr. Sinister thing.
At one point...
well, Warlock was supposed to be the big thing for the sequel, so they might have done something with Warlock.
Yeah, because Warlock was going to be in this, and they decided budget-wise to save it.
Yeah, there's no way we can afford the effects
Storm
for it.
and Xavier were going to appear in this.
Were they?
Yes, with both Alexandra Shipp and James McAvoy.
Yep.
Having either been approached or their management been approached about it.
Which would suggest that this would have been actually set in the 90s.
Would have to be for those two to be playing the roles. Which I don't think anything in the film contradicts that. Like, the technology is fairly ambiguous. You never see, like, a modern smartphone or anything.
Berto has a camera phone. Yes.
Berto
has a smartphone because he has a picture of his girlfriend on it. And...
a VHS player features heavily in the movie. Reyes is watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, Reyes has a smartphone as well.
Not Reyes, sorry. I meant...
no, Rain. Rain is watching
Rain's watching a VHS of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Well, no, it's DVD, because the DVD case is next to the TV.
Oh, fuck.
It's an old TV.
Right.
It's a CRT TV, but they're DVDs.
Right. So, this is set in the 2000s. Has to be set in the late 2000s so there's be camera phones. So why is McAvoy... Oh, my God. They don't give a fuck, do they?
They don't give a fuck.
It's so weird.
They don't give a fuck. Of course they don't give a fuck.
Oh my God. Matt.
Yes.
We've finished this fucking marathon.
Yes, we have.
Out of all of these X films...
Yes.
X-Men, Deadpool, Wolverine, New Mutants...
Yes.
Which, off the top of your head... Let's say 3. Which 3 are the best ones off the top of your head? Not in no particular order. Which 3 are the ones where you're like, I'd watch them again quite happily?
Logan.
Yep.
Logan. And Logan.
Okay.
No, I'm being facetious. Logan, Deadpool.
You facetious?
Yes.
I know your misgivings with the sequel, but I'll be surprised if it isn't in there, to be honest. Because for me, it's Logan, it's Deadpool, and Deadpool 2. Those are the only 3 that I would actively watch again.
Deadpool 2's humour grates on me in a way that the first ones didn't.
Fair play. So it wouldn't necessarily be out of it's a shit product. More variety for me, please. I need something different.
Yeah, it's not even that I need something
If I have to
different,
pick a Deadpool movie, I'm picking one, and I'm picking
similar
the
to the
first
way
one.
that I enjoy the first Kingsman more than the second Kingsman, to the point where I actually don't enjoy the second Kingsman because it's awful. It's not the same sort of degree of like
No, I was gonna say,
nothing in Deadpool 2 is on the level of anything in Kingsman Golden Circle.
No.
But like with the exception of the shitty anal sex jokes towards the end, I think Kingsman is really good. But then
it ends on a bum note, pun intended. If you could take out that moment at the end of Kingsman and replace it with the one good bit from Kingsman 2, which is Elton John leaning into shot
to the tune of Rocket Man.
to Rocket Man.
Yeah, that you
And
might
just
have
add that on
movie.
the end, and then it's a perfect movie. There you go.
Yeah. I have a problem with nothing.
Manners maketh the Rocket Man.
Yeah,
There you go.
They do make it the Rocket Man. Logan, Deadpool.
This is going to be interesting. I think the two films on the tip of your tongue right now are First Class and X-Men 2. Because First Class for me is the runner-up.
I think it has to be X-Men 2.
Fair enough.
Out of the ones that I'd revisit again. Yeah, because First Class I've seen a lot anyway, and it gets worse each time I rewatch it.
Do you remember the first time we saw that in the cinema? Like, it was alright, wasn't it?
That was really
That
good.
was pretty great.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird that they condensed Magneto and Charles's friendship into like 2 months.
Same thing with Days of Future Past.
It's fun. Yeah.
Remember coming out in Days of Future Past and being like, oh yeah,
That was really fun.
that was really good. Yeah.
And then the more you think
Idiot.
about them,
You fucking idiot.
I still think First Class is one of the better films.
I mean, it's certainly not one of the worst. It's no X-Men Origins Wolverine.
On its own, if you leave it alone from the rest of the series,
Yeah.
the only really bad thing in First Class is January Jones's performance as Emma Frost.
Oh god, yeah, she's very
Like,
good.
outside of her, I think that is a pretty fucking great comic book superhero action movie.
It tries to reboot it, but well, it tries to be a prequel, but it also is a reboot because of the way that it completely fucks continuity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then they make a movie to try and straighten that out.
no, it doesn't work.
And then after that, they screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you remember Sunspot was in X-Men Days of Future
Sunspot's
Past.
in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Also, played by a very light-skinned actor.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting, that, isn't it?
interesting, that, isn't it? Also,
Who's the
interesting.
most prominent, outside of Storm, black character in the X-Men movie franchise? Not counting the spin-offs.
There aren't they?
Exactly.
Like, oh, you've got
We get Darwin, who gets
Blake.
killed off.
Darwin is
He's the
immediately
only
killed
one
off.
who's killed off.
Yeah, whose power is he can't die and then immediately dies.
Yeah.
You've got Will.i.am's character in Wraith in X-Men Origins Wolverine. You've got
Who gets killed
Who
as
gets
well.
killed? Who gets killed?
He's fucking wiped off the table by Victor.
Fucking hell. You
Um,
haven't got a ton of them, have you?
Nope.
You're really not.
I mean, if you extend to Deadpool, you obviously get Domino,
Oh no, yeah. You
which
can
is
get
a
them in
perfect
Deadpool
example of
too,
them actually
yeah.
going. Actually, we're going to claim that.
Yeah.
We're going to claim this. The character is traditionally fucking chalk
Blind Owl.
white, and we're going to be. Do you know what? No. Same with Blind Owl. The character is white, and they've gone. No, it doesn't need to be, because in both cases, characters don't need to be. Domino, they find a really clever visual workaround.
Yeah.
Works for it because Zazie Beetz is fucking fantastic in the role.
Other interesting fact about New Mutants. So there's only one of the original New Mutants lineup who's not in the first film. It was replaced by Magic because Magic wasn't part of the original lineup. She came in slightly later.
Which is a fan fave,
Yeah,
so that's why she's
exactly.
in the movie.
Is Karma,
Yes.
who's a Vietnamese lesbian.
So they're just narrowing the margins even more.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Oh, that does make me wonder. Does make me wonder a bit about Josh Boone.
Yeah, or at the very least, Kinberg and Fox.
Well, the reason I say Josh Boone is because
this is still under the watchful eye of the main X-Men departments and whatnot at this point. Like, they were letting it do its own thing, but they were still going, could you remove the X-Men reference? Oh, could you make it scarier? Could you make it less scary? Like, they were still policing it in a really weird way. So...
there's a couple of little things in the Stand adaptation which, in light of that, just feel a bit weird. Mainly the way with the fact that all the sort of sexuality, that everyone in the Boulder Free Zone seems to be straight, from what I can remember. The only place we see queer characters is in the dad is in Randall Flagg's camp.
Just to stress this, folks, we're not accusing anyone of being bias-phobic or whatever, but we're just pointing out their work kind of...
And I don't know
their
if
work
that's
kind of gives
book.
off these vibes,
Or
and they should maybe... If they're
or
not...
maybe maybe I just missed something. Maybe I'm misremembering it.
If they are not these things, then they would hear this and have no issue with that and go, yeah, maybe going forward I could be a bit more like aware of these things. If they take great umbrage with it, it says a lot more about them than it does about our interpretations of the work.
Yeah. What else has Josh Breen done? Let's have a look. Quick look.
But yeah, so for me, if I had to pick ones to stick on, it would be Logan, Deadpool, Deadpool 2. X-Men First Class is a very close runner-up. And X-Men 2 sort of would be the next. Do you know what I mean? Like I would put those five together as I think these are good times at the cinema.
Yeah.
I think X-Men the First would go into that bracket too.
Oh, I wish it was called X-Men the First.
It would go into that category too, but it just feels very of the late 90s.
It can't go into that category too because it's X-Men the First.
No, but because it feels of its time, it feels shy.
Yeah, I get you.
It feels too shy.
Yeah.
And it's part of that era where these films were too shy to just be comic book movies.
Yeah. And
there's a lot to love in that first one. Like I think that's the one we quote the most out of all of them. Especially between you, me and Charlie, we'll quote that one a lot.
But the frustrating thing about X-Men as a series is that in a world as it's gone on, because it predates the MCU, but it continues alongside it, as it's gone on, the general audience has become more and more accepting of comic book movies that take more and more elements from the comic book, particularly visually, and some of the sillier stuff, and they've been uber successful. But the X-Men films have got stuck in this sort of mediocrity where they just seem afraid to take any of those plunges in a universe like a sort of sub-universe within the Marvel universe that is so rich in just bonkers shit, and they never do it properly.
It's no news to regular listeners. You're the X-Men fan.
I'm the X-Men fan
of this podcast. Like you are the X-Men guy.
Where's Mojo?
I was going to say, what elements do you think they would never have gone for?
Mojo
World that never.
Mojo in the Mojoverse.
So big freaky alien-y blobby guy with a robot spider chair who basically puts people through televised torture entertainment.
And his henchman Spiral, who is a six-armed warrior woman who dances to create dimensional rifts, and that's how she transports people into Mojo World. Yeah, Arcade,
the Riddler of this bitch.
Yeah.
Who creates giant death trap fun houses.
He's an assassin, and people hire him to create gigantic, ridiculous, deathly fun houses, and he likes to kidnap the X-Men.
Mr. Sinister, they never would have done it the way that the comics did. This film's the closest we get.
Would have done it.
New Mutants is the closest we get. We see the insignia and it's the diamond on his forehead, and you're like, okay, interesting. So they're actually going to do it, maybe, kind of.
Yeah.
They never would have done it the same way.
They pussy out an Apocalypse.
They really pussy out an Apocalypse. They go the wrong way. Oh my god, when they do try and go too far, they go the wrong way.
Yeah.
Apocalypse visually, Silver Samurai visually.
Yeah.
They just go the wrong way. Fucking hell. They never would have touched the Brood. They never would have touched the Brood.
The Phalanx.
Fucking hell.
Which they would have had to do if they'd have done Warlock. Because
Yeah.
Warlock is a fucking phalanx.
God, how would they have done it? I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Makes me sad. Like
The Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah. I mean, just characters that... characters that we see briefly, but they never went the full potential of them. Like Toad is a visually interesting character. The full way. Blob is a visually interesting character. It took Ryan Reynolds' sequel, where he was allowed to do whatever the fuck he wanted because the first one, to get a Juggernaut that is actually like the one from the comic books.
Neither Sabretooth was quite right.
No, both really good. Yeah, but not Sabretooth.
I think the
Tyler Mane one's a lot of fun. He's what that version of Sabretooth needs to be. He's big, scary henchman who's visually impressive in a fight.
Yeah.
Great.
The Leif Schreiber one's closer to
Leif
what I
Schreiber
want
one's
him
fucking
to be.
great, but it's not. Yeah. It's not Victor. Victor is so much crueler and so much nastier.
Yeah.
And so much more visceral than either version.
Mystique.
Yeah.
We
never got Mystique like
Rebecca
Mystique.
Romaine Stamos one doesn't have enough character to really get into it, and The Jennifer Lawrence one, they just don't seem to really know what to do with her.
No.
So many concepts, like... Oh.
You never would have got, for example, like Polaris. We never would have got a version
Polaris.
of Legion. We never would have got...
Legion. We got the Legion TV show, which by all accounts was pretty good.
Longshot. They would have chickened out on Longshot.
Well, Longshot's Mojoverse, so wouldn't have been able to fucking do it, would you?
Like Pyro never got a ridiculous costume. We never really got the Hellfire Club.
We never really
got a version of it in First Class.
And
the Sentinels. We never got a version of the Sentinels. We never got a proper version of the Sentinels.
No, we certainly never got Master Mold, a big Sentinel who poops out of the Sentinels. Like they were never going. Well, can't get a Bastion without Sentinels.
Exactly. Oh, it would have been great.
Even when they did X-Men 2, they chickened out on the whole religious tyranny aspect of it by making William Stryker a military man instead of a preacher.
Yeah, which
we get a little bit of in New Mutants with the whole Reverend Craig backstory.
And Deadpool 2 with Eddie Marsden's character.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, yeah, and again, it works functionally for that movie. Like, Brian Cox does a great job with it, and it fits, but it's like, there's no reason for this to be William Stryker.
No.
There's no reason this is William Stryker. You could create a brand new character, or like, made him an amalgam. What's the scientist who operated on Wolverine? Dr. Something begins with C.
Oh,
because he's the same one who operated on Deadpool. You know what I mean? The guy with the circular glasses.
Yeah.
Like, it could have just, you could have just made him like the head of the facility, given Brian Cox some round spectacles, and been like, in our interpretation, he's like the head of the research division and he's a military veteran. Great, there we go. Cornelius, Dr. Cornelius, something like that.
That sounds right. I don't know.
Creepy fucker.
Yeah,
creepy fucker. Usually drawn behind glass, watching a mutant be experimented on.
Dr. Creepy fucker.
Again, a role that they chicken out on and give to Francis in Deadpool. Even like in Deadpool, they go like, we'll give it to this guy. We'll give it to 8.
The Shi'ar.
What's Francis?
We never do the Shi'ar.
What's Francis thinking it?
Ajax.
Fucking hell. We never do the Shi'ar. The film that Dark Phoenix is like, there are aliens. Aliens exist.
Yeah,
we never do the Shi'ar.
But when we're going to do the Barry, but actually what we're doing is Skrulls. Actually, really. They're Skrulls. But not as good as the fucking MCU did them in the same year.
Oh my God, you could have done the Brood even.
You could have made them the Brood.
You could have done the Brood because then they just assimilate people.
Yeah, which they do. That's what the Brood do.
Yeah. And then it's not a thing of like, they just randomly kill people and then disguise themselves as them. No. If we suddenly realise one of our own, the Brood, they're dead.
Yeah.
And like you could have Phoenix develop the thing of being able to force people back or whatever. And
too right.
Oh God. There's so many things they would never have attempted ever. Some of the films dip a toe. Some of the films dip a toe in the slightly more ridiculous thing. Like First Class is a little more open with its like visuals and the powers. Like First Class has the balls to go, let's fucking try Banshee. Let's try Banshee.
Let's just do it. The closest thing to comics accurate costumes we ever get at the end of Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And then by the start of
Dark Phoenix,
because it's
nearly
10 years later,
version of the,
it's the Grant Morrison new X-Men costumes.
Yeah. And there's even a throwaway line about that where Raven's like got us in matching uniforms and it's just like...
It's like, no!
I want you not in the matching uniforms. I want you in the cool ones we saw very briefly at the end of the last film.
Yeah, they just never go far enough. They always chicken out. They never push
Where's Blue Furry Nicholas Hoult, like in his little pants and lab coat, dangling upside down in his lab reading a book?
That's what I want to see. At least Kelsey Grammer had the good grace to wear shorts.
Yeah, they chafed.
Shorts and a jacket.
And jokes about them chafing.
Yeah.
And I mean, even then, just like Kelsey Grammer in a suit is a wonderful visual.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great visual that like Beast is like, this is what he looks like all the time.
They never go the whole hog with Beast.
And Beast seems like such a... Even in that third one, the casting of Kelsey Grammer's wonderful, but like the idea of, hang on, so he's just like a mutant relations diplomat for the US government? What a waste of Hank McCoy.
Yeah.
Super scientist.
Yeah.
Like, what? This is where you're going with this? Just... Like, why not Moira McTaggart? I know she's not a mutant, but like Moira McTaggart established that there was a previous relationship already, and I don't know.
We never really get to play with the Danger Room.
No, we get to see it like briefly a couple times, usually just empty.
We get to see it in X3 for about 2 minutes.
Well, fuck me, we get 3 different versions of the Weapon X facility.
Yeah. Lovely.
Even Deadpool has the sense to go, we're going to do something a bit different.
The Marauders. We never get a proper version of the Marauders. We get Broyd Holbrook with a robot hand, and we get Lady Deathstrike, but she doesn't actually say anything.
Yeah, and even then it's not Lady Deathstrike, it's just lady with long nails.
When they do the Wolverine, and they do the Wolverine in Japan storyline, they actually make it worse by making it more fantastical and building the Silver Samurai suit and stuff in. And it could have been a
only
really
in the
cool
third
character.
act.
Yeah.
Like, the first two acts have no hint that things are going to get
But it could have been a really cool... Like, you can just straight up adapt the Wolverine 4-issue arc. Like, that would make a great movie. And they start to do it and then fuck it completely.
No matter what number 3 says they are in the production notes, the group of mutants that rally around Magneto are not the Morlocks.
They're not.
They never would have done the
They're
Morlocks.
not the Morlocks. They never would have done the Morlocks.
And what's the name? Callisto.
Yeah.
They never would have done Callisto. Like, even Leech.
We
get a very neutered version of
They do Caliban
Leech.
twice.
Yes!
And it's not right either time.
Neither of them. I mean, they're both fun.
I do like the Logan Caliban
Stephen Merchant Caliban is
particularly.
fun. Apocalypse Caliban is fun.
It is fun.
It's just distracting because you're like, hang on, 2 movies apart, different time periods,
Calibans.
same character.
Yeah.
What? No, that doesn't. They prefer.
Yeah.
Caliban knows. You're right there, hello Logan. Like, hang on, wait, which one's which? Just what is, now that we've gone through this? What is? I just want to point out we're recording this on the 22nd of the 2nd of the year, 2022, 2222, and it's approaching 22 in real time,
It really
and the recording is nearly at 22:22.
Oh God!
2:22. So there you go, everybody. Has everything you ever wished for happened yet? Or was it just another day with a fun date?
It was another day with a fun date.
Well, the fun for us, we had to watch the fucking X-Men franchise.
So what? Yeah, which
What's
one was
the worst offender?
Fucking hell! Now this is where it really gets tricky.
Yeah,
because they
isn't that weird?
Drop some shits in this.
Yeah,
there's more bad ones than there has been good ones. Which, you know,
like in the most simplistic way, I'm going to name each of the films, say good or bad, regardless of whether the good one is just it's fine.
Well, think about this.
It's on good.
Even in like long-running horror franchises that have overstayed their welcome.
Yeah,
the bad ones tend to be fun.
True.
There's nothing fun about the bad X-Men movies. They're just bad.
X-Men, good.
It's good.
X-Men 2,
it's good.
Good. X-Men 3,
bad.
Bad. X-Men Origins Wolverine,
bad.
Bad. X-Men First Class, good.
Good.
Now, again, like, if we're splitting it into, it's not dreadful and it's definitely dreadful.
Yeah.
X-Men First Class is good.
Yeah.
X-Men Days of Future Past, good.
Good.
X-Men Apocalypse, bad.
Bad.
X-Men Dark Phoenix, bad.
Bad.
Spin-offs, aside from X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, good.
Bad.
Oh, see, I swing the other way, but fair enough.
Bad.
Logan, good.
Good.
Deadpool, good.
Good.
Deadpool 2,
bad.
Good. All right. New Mutants,
Bad.
good. Interesting.
I don't know. Those two are borderline. Deadpool 2 is borderline. Deadpool 2 is only borderline for me.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 is more personal taste for you.
No, I don't think it's a bad film. I just don't like it that much.
Whereas, like, subjectively, it's a bad film for you. Objectively, it's a good film.
And New Mutants, I think, is knife edge borderline. I don't know if it is good or bad.
Middle.
It's very middling.
The definite there were X-Men: The Last Stand,
Yeah.
X-Men Origins Wolverine, and the ones that were like hardcore bad.
Yeah. Apocalypse,
Dark Phoenix seem to be the biggest offenders.
Yeah. All right. So this guess is more. Oh, there's more okay ones than there are bad ones. I guess so. For real stinkers.
Which is the biggest? I think Dark Phoenix. It has the least to say.
Or Apocalypse. I think
Like,
Apocalypse might be the
Apocalypse
worst.
is bad, but like I spent most of Apocalypse on initial viewing and rewatch for this, going, "What the fuck? Wait, what?" Just like screaming at the screen and going, "The hell is this?" Whereas with Dark Phoenix, I just sat there. I felt nothing.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
It's
that
fun. It's awful.
Is it though?
It's awful.
Is it?
It's awful, but I can laugh at it. Did you just call me?
Yeah, I suppose actually. Yeah, That's the closest one of the bad ones gets to being like fun bad.
You know, it's just like the fucking the origin of the name the Wolverine, which he shouldn't even remember. No. He shouldn't even remember that. I don't know it's on the tag, but he wouldn't like. Why did I keep this?
Also, completely shits itself in the third act.
Oh God,
completely shits itself.
I think it shits itself in the first act, but you don't notice it, and the smell starts to show up in the third act.
Well, it's got a little bit of vomit down its front in the first act.
Yeah, it spends Act 2 vomiting and pissing.
Yeah,
and then you're looking at the front going, oh my God, what have you done? And then by the third act, you're like, oh, we finally cleaned up the... Oh, how long's this been here?
You're sitting in freshly shitted pants. Like, it's bad. It's not really bad.
And the multiple fucking endings. Yeah. And like, oh, God. And then...
the weird, plasticky, de-aged Patrick Stewart...
X-Men: The Last Stand is bad because, like, many reasons, but I think it's because it's the third one in a row.
It's rushed.
Where the first two are like, they're not bad at all, they're very enjoyable, they've got some really... The strength of those original ones, and I'd argue the strength of the whole series, for the most part, is casting.
Yeah.
These films have cast very well. Whether those decisions turned out to be good ones in the long term... is case by case, like Jennifer Lawrence, or whether they turned out to be complete fucking misfires from the off, and then you just have to put up with it. You know, like the younger X-Men recasting in Apocalypse, for example.
Yeah.
Is all very odd. But the first X-Men and the second X-Men, great for the time, still got some charm to them now, especially X-Men 2, X2, X-Men United. And then the third one is the diminished returns shit third film in a trilogy like vibe. That's its biggest crime. It just sort of makes you go, oh, this was working. Huh. You really fucked it, huh? Yeah. And so that's it. I think that makes it one of the least offenders out of the bad ones. Like, it's not the bottom of the pile, because it's more the fact that it just deflates the mood of the journey you're on. Whereas X-Men Origins Wolverine is at least kind of hilarious and entertaining in its terribleness. Then you've got Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, which are just fucking terrible. Now, I think if you had to, at gunpoint, said to me, you have to watch one of these two again, I'd pick Apocalypse, because I could at least be baffled by it and feel something.
See, I think I might pick Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Hot diggity. Wow. Show me on the doll where Danny Houston touched you.
It's got Dominic Monaghan in it. And
Wasted as well. Just in it for about 5 minutes.
It
does a great job of Ryan Reynolds and then fucks up by the ending.
At least it's got Hugh Jackman all the way through it.
Who's very good in the role of Wolverine, full stop. You
know, being Hugh Jackman. It's...
You jacking off the whole time.
Yeah.
Huge jacked man.
Just...
Is that the sound that each of the claws make in succession as they exit his hand?
Let's finish this fucking podcast, man. I'm sick of it. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm sick of X-Men. Sick of X-Men.
If anyone's listening to this right now, you're only familiar with the movies, give them 3 X-Men books or storylines they should seek out, or 3 X-Men pieces of media they should seek out to cleanse their palate.
Dark Phoenix Saga, Second Genesis. They're quite aged now. If you want to go modern X-Men, then I would suggest
X-Men Evolution, the animated series. That's a pretty fun watch.
We're talking comics.
If we're talking comics,
you're
trying to think of entry level, aren't you?
I'm trying to think of entry level.
Yeah, I was going to say, All New X-Men was pretty good. Oh yeah, but it relies on you knowing that they've been pulled out of time. And...
Yeah, but that is set up in the first issue.
True.
So I think All New X-Men by Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah.
If you don't mind jumping in with a little less knowledge, Hawks and Pox.
Yeah.
Dawn of X.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think the stuff that we know I stan him, but I honestly think the stuff that Jonathan Hickman did on Hawks and Pox, the X-Men stuff he set up, was fucking great.
House of X and
Powers of 10.
Powers of 10, in case anyone's wondering. Hawks and Pox.
Yeah.
If you are reassured and can rest easy by the notion that he will not be paid any extra money for this because he was paid for the gig when it happened, Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men's a pretty great run.
Actually, yes, it is.
Yeah.
But fuck Joss Whedon.
Fuck Joss Whedon, but if you buy this book, you're not giving him any money. So
fuck Joss Whedon, but Astonishing X-Men's a pretty good shout.
Gifted's the first volume, isn't it?
And Gifted.
Grant Morrison's
New X-Men.
is very good.
It does lean a bit into the sort of black leather instead of costumes thing that you get from the first X-Men movie. And it was a conscious decision to do that. But
Beast is a giant cat.
Beast is a giant cat, man. There is a huge.
Just the casualness of that. It's like, yeah, you're right.
There is a huge Sentinel. There is a completely silent issue where Emma Frost and Jean Grey go into Professor Xavier's psyche and learn that he ate his twin in the womb.
Grant Morrison, man.
Yeah, there's the Shi'ar turn up for some good fun times, and Zorn. But how they end that storyline pretty badly, but Zorn as a character and gets one of my favourite issues of just a day in the life of Zorn, with that great cover of him just contemplating a hamburger. Yeah, Frank Quitely's art on that. He doesn't draw all of it, but the issues that Frank Quitely draws in particular are just incredible.
Quitely's artwork.
Yeah, I love Frank Quitely. Other bits. God Loves Man Kills.
Yeah, if you're looking for a really short, depressing read, that's a great one. That's the inspiration for X2, X-Men United.
Like, depending on what your tolerance is like for older comics, anything from Claremont's run, just before Claremont's run, because he doesn't take over actually until a couple of issues after the All New X-Men, the
Uncanny X-Men,
Uncanny X-Men go thing happens. Then yes, get second Genesis.
You join my team, okay. Join my team, okay. You join my team, okay. Right, now that I've got you all here, my other team have been kidnapped by a living island. You might die. I'm going to send you to go get them. Wait, what?
Get the second Genesis Epic Collection, which gives you that giant size X-Men #1, and then leading into the start of Claremont's run, a big chunk of that.
I do love that that's basically their first story as that team. It's just, I fucked up.
And it's X-Men adjacent, and therefore not necessarily X-Men, but the Wolverine miniseries by
Frank
Miller and Chris Claremont.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking good.
It's pretty great. It's pretty damn great.
It is.
We hope we've explained ourselves more than enough.
Yes.
We'll have to leave you now. We're going to expel ourselves from this vicinity. Gone away. Bye. We're wrapping up basically.
Yeah, cool.
If you want to hear more of our Whiffles and Waffles and you're not already subscribed or following on your platform of choice, then fucking do it.
Do
son.
it.
You can support us at patreon.com/abigdamncast. It keeps the lights on, which is handy. Despite what you may have started to put together or suspect, folks, there is a reason to continue supporting.
Yes.
We're being cryptic for a reason.
We're being cryptic.
And you can also follow us on Twitter at Big Damn Cast.
Yeah.
You can follow at Matthew Mini Painter 1.
Matthew Mini Pay PAI 1.
PAI 1.
You can't fit Matthew Mini Painter in the fucking Twitter, can you?
On the Twitter. Official CDJ on Twitter. Piss and Whiffles. Get your emails in next week for bits and pieces, whatever news we're going to be covering. Till then, 296 down.
4 to go.
What? You're always sorry, Charles. There's always a speech.